Christopher Robin, what exactly is doing nothing?
Well, I'm told it means going along, listening to all the things you can't hear, and not bothering.
When I'm with you, I'm with you. And all when I'm with you, I'm with you. Forever and ever, all alone on the moon, and you will always answer forever, forever and ever, all alone on the moon.
Listening to all the things you can't hear. No matter where I go, always be together. You should know. Always be together. No matter where I go, always be together. Always be together. No matter where I go, always be together. You should know. Always be together. No matter where I go, always be together.
Every summer, wherever you live, every summer, and you will always answer. Every summer, wherever you live, every summer, find me. When I'm with you, I'm with you. When I'm with you, I'm with you.
Remember,
Forever and ever, all alone on the moon, and you will always answer. Forever and ever, all alone on the moon.
I wanna stay like this. No matter where I go, always be together. You should know. Always be together. No matter where I go, always be together. Always be together. No matter where I go, always be together. You should know. Always be together. No matter where I go, always be together. Always be together.
Every summer, wherever you live, every summer, and you will always answer. Every summer, wherever you live, every summer, find me.
No matter where I go, always be together. You should know. Always be together. No matter where I go, always be together. Always be together. No matter where I go, always be together. You should know. Always be together. No matter where I go, always be together. Always be together.
Anywhere.
Oh, hello, everyone. Hello, chat. Hello, best chat. Hope you're all doing fantastic today, even though it is, unfortunately for everyone, Monday. Hope none of you are coming out with the case of the Mondays. Hello, everyone. Hello. And guess what, chat? Guess what? I had asked a few, maybe a week ago or so. I don't know how long ago, but I asked if you would want channel membership to be open so that we can, start implementing some custom emojis, things like that. And it was a resounding yes. I got a lot of yeses, so I did. Channel membership is now open, and from what I can see, we got 3 channel members already. For the first one was, I believe, a Lady Gravemaster. Unfortunately, the it didn't pop up in the chat because the stream was not up yet. But Lady Gravemaster joined the membership, and Zofrats, welcome. By the way, the custom emojis were made by Zofrats. All the custom emojis you can use were made by Zofrats. So welcome, Zofrats. Thank you very much for joining. And Criminal Imagination, thank you very much for joining the new membership on the channel. You'll be enjoying some new custom emojis and things like that. And because I have 3 members already, so far I have 3 members, I was able to add on another emoji this morning. So everyone should be able to use, I think everyone should be able to use the orc emoji now. There's an orc emoji. Just add that one in. And if I get two more, if I get I think if I get to six. No, if I get, yeah, it said six. If I get six members all together, I can add on a new emoji that I think everyone will enjoy. So there's that. So hello everyone. Hello. Uh, yes, Crow Imagination. They made me name the thing. Okay, they made me name it. They said you needed to have a name for the tier or whatever it is. So I did, and I thought, and I really enjoyed the alliteration. And is it cringy? Absolutely. That's what you do on YouTube. That makes it more fun. Makes it absolutely more fun. So fresh Legion assemble exactly. I like alliteration. I thought it went well together. So there you have it. There you have it. There you have it. Matthew Jim Nimnall, welcome to the membership. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Awesome. 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 Bagel theory. There's bagel theory in there. Zofresh is Zofresh is demonstrated. There's one with bagel theory. So I enjoyed that one. I enjoyed that one. The numbers. Good morning, LD. Good morning, the numbers. Good morning. Good morning. Primal Prize. Good morning. Good morning to you. Hex Harper. Welcome to the chat, Hex Harper. Good morning to you. Killer Doodle 4. Hello, hello, LD. Well, hello. Hello, Killer Doodle 4. Hello. Check off his endler says, hello, all my Ewoks. Hey, no racial slurs in the chat. Hello, everyone. Lazy Phoenix Boy. Hello. Hello, Lazy Phoenix Boy. Semantic Dragon. Hello, Semantic Dragon. Hello, Thunderfeet. Good morning. I think we have some delicious smorgasbord of nonsense as we always do. It's going to be quite the. We're going to begin with an old flavor, a very very old and traditional dish of nonsense, and but we'll be continuing on from there. I think you'll enjoy this. But you're going to begin with a particularly traditional dish of nonsense, sprinkled with a nice seasoning of Star Wars. I think you'll enjoy it. Noble Commando, good morning, LD. Good morning, Noble Commando. Good morning, good morning. And Mickey, hello there. Hello there, Mickey. Baptist 702. Good old devil. It's time for more nonsense. Absolutely. Absolutely. And we had a whole day, a whole Sunday yesterday to allow the nonsense to pile up. And wow, did it. Did it ever. So hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome inside. Awesome. And for those of you coming in, we have channel membership open, and custom emojis abound. Custom emojis done, of course, by Zofrats. And also, there's actually a custom emoji that if I disappear in the middle of a stream, like I do occasionally, because things tend to lock up, there's even a special emoji for that. So if you want to enjoy that one, it's there. It's there for your enjoyment. Anyway, chat. Anyway, let's see here. Mark in 3D, give us a Superman vid, you hack phone. It's coming along. It's coming along nicely. I'll be here eventually. Let's see here, Dr. Crow. So just listening to LD seems to summon Karens. Why do you hate me? Summon the Karens? Are there Karens in the chat? Oh, you can't have Karens here. Yes, there it is. Internet gas and FLD. So just in case that happens, they are there. They're absolutely there. And Andrew Cruz, good morning, PSA Hitch. I'm glad you finally confessed your love for prequels. Oh yes, absolutely, exactly. If you didn't know, this is PSA Sitch's. My other account. Of course, because we're the same person. We're the same exact person. Anyway, let me get this up here. This was released, I believe, this morning. Actually, let's see. It's hot off the presses. Get this up here, and it kind of just highlights things that we already knew, but it's always fun to look into them. And there we go. So this was released by Bleeding Fool this morning. And let's see here. The Star Wars FemGaze Festival exposes SJW nonsense, SJW feminist hypocrisy. So, as everyone is probably familiar with by now, because they won't do it, because they absolutely they won't admit their own hypocrisy, and they won't stop crying about the male gaze or whatever. which by the way is also a the same probably the same gaze that we'll say homosexual women use. They like to look at the same things straight men like to look at. So they're kind of just they're kind of ostracizing those people, aren't they? Kind of ostracizing it, ostracizing an entire group of people just to get at men. Unfortunately, hmm. But let's see here. So they said bad over here. Princess Leia, slave Leia outfit bad. Shirtless Adam Driver good. So let's see here. Join us May 5th, May the 5th, May the Revenge of the 5th. Some people are calling it. And let's see with the Force. And are we going to celebrate those? That reminds me. The Twitter recently came out with a new change of direction in the rules that said no cursing. Pretty much, it said no cursing. You're supposed to look at this, make sure that you're not cursing before you send that tweet. And at first, everyone was like, "Oh, this is terrible," and it is. It's terrible because now they're cracking down on your free speech even more. But then again, I couldn't help but realize that that's kind of hilarious in kind of a kind of a Pyrrhic victory sort of way, because I remember it because SJWs and NPC types they love to curse, even though it's really awkward when they try to do it because they try to force in curse words where they really don't belong. Okay, and the thing is, they really like to curse. So now SJWs and NPCs they can't curse and upset daddy anymore. They Andrew Andrew Cruz. You don't know why they're so offended by male gaze. I have no idea. I have no idea. I guess because they're bigoted. They're all bigots, I suppose. Anyway, uh, but that's just a kind of a silver lining in the way Twitter is just cracking down on all your freedoms. At least there's a little bit of the silver lining. A little bit of the silver lining there. That now the SJW and NPC types can no longer curse either, and they love to do that. They love to do that. They like to curse and upset daddy all the time. The numbers take that dad exactly. Exactly. Take that dad. I'm cursing on national television. I wrote a comic that you love and I'm cursing in it. Take that dad. So internet gas. Internet gas. Remember they have plenty of internet gas. I think we have it full today. And we have full tank today. See, but it says we are going to celebrate love, redemption, and transformation in Star Wars. Hashtag Star Wars Fem Gaze Fest. Come check it out today. And it's going to have. We should probably check these out one of these days. Check these out because they have podcasts. Sky Talkers podcast, Lady Valkyrie, Wit and Folly. Wit and Folly is on there. Oh, that's fantastic. Wit and Folly is terrible. So they have all kinds of weird feminist people on there. Yes, you heard that headline correctly. It's a real thing. Remember reading paragraphs upon paragraphs written by idiot feminists that talked about the evils of male gaze? It's why they hate Leia's gold bikini. Here's one comment from militant feminist Tracy King. That Leia used her chains against her captor doesn't change the distinctly male gaze that turned that scene into a grubby bedroom fantasy for boys. So what? Even Carrie Fisher didn't like it. It's like, oh, okay, I'm supposed to stay quiet and wear a bikini. I know where this is going. She didn't like it at all. She's like, okay, this is a Star Wars taking a downturn. Well, the movie, a lot of people say that the Return of the Jedi did mean a downturn in the quality of the original Star Wars trilogy. I don't think that was part of it. I think that was part of it because men being happy, that's evil. Can't have men being happy apparently. Space Oyster, a cursing ban won't affect me much, but it's a terrible idea. Twitter needs to read 1984. It seems to always be relevant. Yeah, more and more becomes relevant because even though George Orwell he's a democratic socialist as far as he described himself, he liked to criticize the extremist parts of socialism, or this kind of make stories that kind of taught you the dangers of going to the extremist ends. Arm Master DX, wombs, exactly. Wit and Folly is the one with the 5 metaphorical wombs in The Last Jedi. I was thinking about getting a wombs emoji, but I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens. So let's see here. Let's see here. Okay. Of course, the real reason they don't like the bikini is that it makes unattractive militant feminists feel inadequate. And that's not actually conjecture on their part. It's actually pretty much what they say every day. They say, well, they come out and say it makes women feel inadequate, but they really mean them. They really mean it makes them feel inadequate. Because the slave Leia bikini is a pretty popular. It's a very popular costume. And as your boy Yellow Flash, I think mentioned once, I think on his live stream, I caught it for a little bit. He usually deletes those, but he said on his live stream that yeah, guess what? Also was a popular costume for women. The Harley Quinn costume, not from not from Birds of Prey, but from what was it? From Suicide Squad. That was a popular costume too, Halloween costume. Let's see. Let's continue. But SJWs are masters of hypocrisy. I don't know why only part of that is linked. For while the male gaze is evil, the female gaze is good. Here's a comment from militant feminist. I think they just keep putting militant feminist in front of everything. Anne Cohen, who salivates over Kylo Ren's pecs. Kylo Ren's Adam Driver swole pecs make it official. Star Wars is a woman's game now. The fact that Ray highlights it was bad. That was a man's game before. Why is it changing from one gender to the other? Is it because it transitioned? Does that make it good? The fact that Ray highlights Kylo's lack of a shirt only cements its importance as a marker of the female gaze, our very own Princess Leia and the old bikini movement. lack of a shirt only cements its importance as a marker of the female gaze. The things they come up with, an important marker, and now they're going to celebrate that female gaze. Behold the Star Wars Fem Gaze Fest. They have a Fem Gaze Fest. They this like championing and touting their own hypocrisy and how you can't do anything about it in your face. It's yeah, like they have a win here, and they're demonizing you for the male gaze, and it's working because these companies are falling for it. They're adhering to it. Oh, we can't appear to the male gaze. A male gaze is evil, and they come out with something called the Fem Gaze Fest, and it's like a haha, we can do this and you can't anymore. Ha 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 ha. That's what they're doing. And they don't care anymore. They don't care if it's hypocritical or whatever. They know they won this little section here, and they're just touting it in your faces, touting it in our faces. It's a little game they play. Of course, a little game they play. Anyway, look up the hashtag Star Wars Fem Gaze Fest, and you'll find more. You can watch this exercise in hypocrisy right here. Well, let's give it a watch. Oh, never mind. It's 4 hours. Never mind. I think this is I guess it's the entire live event. Maybe we'll watch it tomorrow. Let me watch it tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. But it's 4 hours long. We're definitely going to watch it today. Maybe I'll get Smudboy on and a few other people on. We can cover that all together. Would you like that, chat? Crew Imagination, thank you much for the 5. Appreciate that. Funny story. I started watching Star Wars because I got my awakening when I saw Leia in bikini. In a bikini. I ended up watching ROTJ before the first two. That's interesting. That's interesting. Excellent story, by the way. See, these things happen. These things happen. Let's see here. Shane Burgess. It's at the point that I'm no longer interested in Star Wars as a consumer. Between the propaganda, pandering, and shippers, I'm out. Yeah, you're not. It seems to be the consensus here. It seems to be that the way things are going actually. Because I've said the story before, and I'll say it again because it reminds me of the story again. But I went to go see Rise of Skywalker on a Saturday. Nobody was there. There was just me, maybe a few other people, a buddy of mine, and maybe a handful of other people in the theater. So basically, it felt like I had the entire thing to myself. It was pretty good for me, not so good for Star Wars. Anyway, so it was hosted by What the Force, by I guess this Twitter page here. Join us May the 5th. We're going to love redemption and the female gaze, or femme gaze, they call it. And while SJWs were screeching demands for the inclusion of women in Scum and Villainy Cantina's May the 4th event, I'm having a hard time finding any SJWs screeching for the inclusion of men in what the femme gaze, the femme gaze fest is an interest of equality, of equal equality. Kathleen Kennedy's bitter agenda continues in space. So there's some nice old-fashioned stuff, old-fashioned nonsense. This old hypocrisy of the people who want to say, "Oh, the Star Wars movies are evil because it has appeals to men, and they and this thing up here, this little quote right here says the one that says the fact that Rey highlights Kylo's lack of a shirt only cements its importance as a marker for female gaze. Kylo Ren's swole pecs make it official. Star Wars is a women's game now. These quotes signify, because before it was these feminist weirdos crying out and saying we want more we want more women in Star Wars so we can make it equal. Because at first it was the excuse was they want to make it equal, they want equality, as Bleeding Fool even mentioned here that there was a cry for equality. But they were downplaying Luke Skywalker. They want to get rid of all these male characters, and they want to pretty much extinguish male characters and pump up new ones, new female ones. And for so long, the excuse was we just wanted it to be equal. We wanted to make it equal, okay, and that's it. We just wanted to make it. We want equality. We want because Star Wars is for everyone. But then now that they've made these changes, now we get to see that this was all. It was never about equality. Never about equality in the first place. Okay, it was always about taking over. And we see that here. See, if this was it was not the mentality wasn't about taking over, it would be they'll be touting they'll be actually touting equality, but they're not. It's saying, we took over now. We took over now. Sorry, bad guys. We took over now, and that's basically what happened. They allowed them to come in. They allowed these weird, crazy feminists to come in and start dictating how things should be going from here on out, and now they've taken over. And they're telling you they took over. They're happy they took over, and they're saying to your face, "Ha, we took over." It's no longer Star Wars is no longer for men anymore. It's for women now, only for women. We tricked you by saying it was. We tricked you by saying it was for equality, but we really want to take over. It's clear now. It's very clear that they don't want men in Star Wars anymore. They wanted to push them out. And they told us this directly, pretty much with that, with these quotes and how they feel about things and the mentality that they've been showing us. Chekhov's Antlers, welcome. Glad you could join the membership. Awesome. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the custom emojis now. QC Warlord, thank you for 2. Did you watch Star Wars Rebels or Mandalorian? I watched The Mandalorian. I quite enjoyed it. It was okay. The first couple episodes were pretty good. The last couple episodes were pretty good. It kind of stumped in the middle, and they kind of wasted the Magnificent Seven, arc. The Seven Samurai arc by making it one episode. But overall, it was okay. It was okay overall, I believe. But thing is, people have been demonizing it in some ways. But I give it a lot of leeway because it was the first season, and it showed a lot of promise. It wasn't full of woke nonsense right off the bat. It showed a lot of promise. Hex Harper, welcome to the membership. Welcome to what I've called the Lit Legion because they made me name it. But welcome. Appreciate it. Appreciate your support. Hope you're enjoying the custom emojis. Awesome. There you go. Chekhov's Antlers. Awesome. Glad you're enjoying those. Yeah, the bagel theory, internet gas, orcs. Let's see here. Let's see. I think if I get up to 6, I can add on one more emoji. And I have, let's see here. So far, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Yeah, I think we have enough. Let me see if I can do it now. Let me see if I can do it. Go to emojis. Add another one. Yes, I can. Here we go. I got this one. Let's see if it works. I do have enough. Save and publish. So I don't know if it's up yet. I just saved it and it's loading. I just saved it. It just confirmed that there should be a themes themes emoji now. Uh, yeah, it should be a themes emoji now. I'm not sure if it's gone through yet, but eventually. Dr. Crow. So you guys know the super chat problem I have. Yeah, can't join either. What's the problem with my card? I'm not sure. Then I know Tug had the same problem. Huh. I wonder if YouTube is like blacklisting people or something. And if so, what have you done? What kind of a wrong thing have you committed that made YouTube mad at you? I mean, how could it be worse than what I've done? As pointed out, feminist hypocrisy, as pointed out by Bleeding Fool. What could be worse than that in the eyes of YouTube? Uh-oh. Let's see here. Are we still up, chat? Hopefully we're still up. Hopefully we're still up. Okay. There we go. There we go. Your imagination. Yeah, there we got the themes. There we go. We got the themes. And I selected a video today, later on, of course, that might require that particular emoji. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Okay, so yeah, this while the weirdo feminists were crying about male gaze all the time and how they need to demonize what men enjoy in movies, demonize pretty much the female Leia say bikini thing. They went ahead and touted it in your face. They said, "Okay, we won now. All the men have left Star Wars. Now it's a women's game," as quoted right here. Star Wars is a women's game now because of Adam Driver's pecs. So they didn't want to demonize male gaze. Okay, they didn't want to. They wanted to demonize male gaze, and they wanted to bring in more attractive men while also excluding attractive women from Star Wars. What men like anyway. And they said they felt like they won now, so they came out with Fem Gaze Fest, which is okay. We won. We're kind of lying to you about the whole equality thing. We just wanted to take over. And there you have it, chat. They have it. The weirdos have full on admitted that it was never about equality. It was never about you shouldn't make people into sexual objects thing. They're fully in support of making people into sexual objects. They just don't want men to do so in their eyes, and they want to be able to be exclusive to women. They want Star Wars to be exclusive to women and their points of view. Not no longer is Star Wars for everyone apparently. The stream is down. Huh. The stream is down. According to the thing here, it says we're still up. Hopefully we're still up. Hopefully we're still up. I think we're still up. Hopefully we are. The numbers, did you hear that Monopoly made a feminist Monopoly version? It's built as you would think a parody game would be. Is that real? They made a feminist Monopoly? What was it? You just get everything for free? What is it? How does that work? How does that work? Let's see here. KH, thank you much too. Good morning, LD. Well, good morning, KH. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's see. Okay, it's up. Hex Harper, it's up. Still up. Awesome. Killer Doodle 4, it's still up. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, good. Good. Get paranoid about these things sometimes. You know how YouTube is. The boss will eat you alive for no reason at all. So let's see here. Let's continue. Here's an article by Forbes continuing the Star Wars trend we're going on right now, because I don't know why Forbes is talking about this stuff, but they like to talk about this stuff. But fortunately, Forbes has discovered something quite interesting. Okay, quite interesting for about Star Wars. I'm not really sure if you knew this, chat, but Forbes did the digging for us and has discovered something new and hidden in the back of the minds of Star Wars, hidden in the back of the psyche, deep in the psyche of Star Wars. Okay. And it's did you know, chat? I'm not sure if you knew this. Maybe some of you did, but it's a new development discovered in Star Wars fans, and it's proven by science and by looking into the economics of Star Wars and Star Wars movies. But did you know? Were you aware at all, chat, that the Backlash to the Last Jedi showed that Star Wars fans actually like Luke Skywalker. Did you know that? Was that something that that's something that was known to you? Because this is news to me. Did you know that Star Wars fans actually like Luke Skywalker, and that possibly the big backlash against the Last Jedi is kind of maybe in some part spurned the backlash against the Last Jedi because of what they did to Luke Skywalker? Could that be? They think this is true? Oh no. Zayukia, feminist monopoly. Females get more money and cheaper prices. Uh, I'm not sure if you're joking or not. Is that real? Is that fake? Because if this is actually a feminist monopoly, I would be fairly certain that's how it would actually go. If you're a male player, you have to pay more and get paid less to make up for the wage gap or something. So no, really? Oh, you loved it when they punted his character in the crotch repeatedly. Yeah, I thought that too. You would think so. Ryan Johnson thought that. Didn't work out very well. Didn't work out all that well. Yeah, it's a new revelation, I think. So let's check it out. See what we has come up with. Contrary to popular belief, audiences don't always prefer the grimdark anti-hero over the glorified Boy Scout. You don't say. You don't say. We're just getting one. We're just getting one revelation after another here, chat. One revelation after another. KH and Witcher 2, appreciate that. Oh, what a huge discovery! What a, what a nice coincidence. Yeah, odd how things go. All things how things go, isn't it? Noble Commander, there's so many videos about feminist monopoly. There's videos about them, you say? Interesting. Interesting. Maybe we could look one up here. And see if we can find one. See if we can find one. Oh, let's see here. Feminist monopoly, is that yeah, okay, here we go. Here we go. Also, from what I can tell, let's see here. It looks like that Smudboy actually has his streaming rights, and that a Smudcast later on today has been confirmed. That's what it looks like, anyway. So, to those of you who've been asking about another Smudcast, it looks like there's one on the way. There's one on the way. Zofrats, if you need more nonsense this morning about the feminist monopoly, I think I found a video on it. Let's see if the videos isn't all that great. We'll go over there to the article because videos are more interesting than me reading an article, I think. Especially me reading an article. But then, anyway, but thank you for that, for Zofrats. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Contrary to popular belief, audiences don't actually prefer the grimdark anti-hero over the glorified Boy Scout. Interesting. You don't say. You don't say. Whatever my issue about Darth Maul still being alive after the events of the Phantom Menace, Lucas chopped him in half specifically so folks wouldn't think he survived his death plunge. I won't pretend that the character hasn't been used in interesting ways, beginning in the 4th season of the Clone Wars and then via periodic appearances in Star Wars Rebels. He popped up as a secret man behind the curtain. Yeah, okay, in Rebels. He also did that in I believe Solo, where he appeared at the end of the movie as a hologram, stood up, ignited his lightsaber, and then kind of sat back down. And the author, thanks for the £1.99. At least there's no feminist Uno. Not yet. There isn't. Not yet. There isn't. Mark Anthony, save the internet gas, buddy. I don't know. It's been going all right for me so far. Maybe well, there's an internet gas emoji for these situations. I say occasion in which is fine. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. At least this stream is more invigorating to my ears while I'm drawing anime girl stuff. Well, that's good. That's excellent. Excellent. So I'm glad this stream is invigorating, and I'm glad you're drawing anime girl stuff, especially after the article we just read. Gotta appeal to the male gaze. Defeat the weirdos. Own the libs or whatever the term is. By appealing to the male gaze. Okay. Drake the Duelist. What kills me is that they didn't have to make the sequel trilogy to directly follow up the original trilogy instead of setting in thousands of years later. Yeah, exactly. They didn't have to. But unfortunately, they have a writing staff filled with people who aren't all that talented. So they have to. They can't sell you new Star Wars without old Star Wars. They had to rely on old Star Wars to sell this new one. and I guess they were thinking that eventually the new Star Wars would make it on its own. Never did. Never ever did. In fact, not only did it not make it on its own, it ruined previous Star Wars. It lost and make it made the consumer lose faith in the original Star Wars. Something the prequel trilogy never did. The Star Wars flame has been burning ever since then. In the prequel trilogy, yeah, it was a little dampener to some people, but it didn't kill Star Wars. It didn't absolutely just shoot Star Wars in the head. Now that's true. Now that you're appealing to me, uh, that's what I want. I want a movie with more men in it. uh, okay, so let's see. I'm getting stream hiccups. This is excellent connection here on my end. I haven't. Okay, we're back. Fantastic, fantastic. So internet gas. Uh, I don't know. It's I guess it's YouTube or something because I'm not getting any interruptions on my end. Usually, I know when I'm getting interruptions. Usually, it's like on the line along lines of nothing is loading up. But on my end, everything's going fast. I don't know. Maybe it's maybe it might be YouTube. It might be YouTube. I don't know. Nick gas kicked in. Fantastic, fantastic. Yeah, but yeah, if, yeah, because it's usually I know when it's my on my end. Usually I know it's on when it's on my end, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, chat. Maybe it might be YouTube. It might be YouTube. Because it would usually it would tell me on my end that that we're kind of having stream hiccups. Anyway, anyway, chat. We'll keep going and see how far we can how long we can last. Let's see here. But what if they made a movie that said that didn't appeal to us? They didn't appeal to men, and they said, "Hey, men, we got rid of all the women, and we're going to add in nothing but men." And I said, "Oh, good. I was waiting for you to get rid of all the women and add nothing but men in this movie. That will make me watch it." That would be kind of strange, wouldn't it? That doesn't really sit well. So why would it be? Why would it work the other way around? Hey, hey, women, we know you don't like this franchise normally, at least not overwhelmingly. But we got rid of all the men, and we're going to make it predominantly women in the lead. Why would that change anything? Like we made like a one of those rom com cancer movies where one of the really good couple and one of them is dying from cancer. If that's not really going to appeal to men normally, then putting more men in it isn't probably going to do the trick. Because that's a genre of movie that women tend to like, and not so much men. Okay, if you're going to make like a Twilight remake or something like that, and you're going to replace Bella with a man, and that's it. Are you going to put more men in the movie? Then I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it's going to work. At least it won't appeal to straight men. It might appeal to men who are not of the straight variety. And I'm pretty sure that you don't have to do anything to make those changes. Mark in 3D, rom-com cancer, that's a genre? I think so. I know rom-com is. I know they have those cancer movies where one of them is dying from cancer because it tends to draw the drama in, and it tends to draw the female audience in. Let's see here. Strict to-do list? We're going to remove all women and have nothing but men. Yeah. And on the other hand, men can tend to read like Slave Leia. They don't seem to mind her all that much. They didn't really mind Leia to begin with at all. In the first two movies, where she wasn't in Slave Leia costume. Let's see here. Whatever my issues with Darth Maul is, let's see here. He popped up as a secret man behind the curtain behind the baddie in the ending moments of Solo. Yeah, where he ignited his lightsaber for no reason at all. Which, I guess this to tell you that he is that he's Darth Maul. Okay, let's see here. So we're still getting more stream hiccups, I guess. Hopefully it fixes itself because it looks good on my end. It looks good on my end. The connection does anyway. And it usually tells me things. It's not telling me anything right now. But anyway, we'll continue. We'll persevere, chat. We'll persevere. And let's see here. I won't pretend that the character hasn't been used. And so yeah, in Star Wars, a Star Wars story. which must have been amusingly confusing to folks who didn't follow the recent animated shows. Anyway, Maul's voice actor, Sam Witter, has joined the chorus of Star Wars folks taking issue with The Last Jedi, specifically the whole hermit Luke Skywalker thing. He's the one who, by the way, who said that Ryan Johnson seemed like a guy who didn't do his homework. That he seemed like a guy who wanted to redo Star Wars or deconstruct Star Wars. But he said that you can't really do that without knowing Star Wars, and he seems like a guy who didn't really do his homework. So I think they have his quote right here. To quote, Last Jedi to me felt like a movie made by a guy who hadn't quite done his homework. I think Ryan Johnson is a talented guy, but Bruce Lee didn't develop Jeet Kune Do without learning Kung Fu first. You can't reinvent Star Wars without knowing Star Wars first, and he didn't. For me, making a compelling argument for why Luke Skywalker didn't go and help his sister. This is just in my opinion, guys. There were a lot of things in Last Jedi I found compelling in Ryan Johnson's filmmaker point of view. Sure did. They just didn't fit into Star Wars. Yeah, this is the common accusation and something I kind of agree with, that Ryan Johnson seemed like he wasn't trying to make a Star Wars movie. He's trying to make his own movie. Okay? He tried to make his own movie, but he couldn't because I guess he wasn't good enough or he didn't get the green light to. So he used Star Wars to make his own sci-fi movie, the sci-fi movie he wanted. So that's strange that he's also catching on to that one. And see, I don't think this is say the themes, my themes, the themes, what it's about, what the characters are about. That, but as a standalone film, if I don't know what the Jedi are or who Luke Skywalker is or what he represents, I think there's some compelling things in there. If it's meaningful to you, that's awesome. Yeah, the themes and the meaning, all the usual stuff, Let's see here. I obviously disagree with that, but whatever. He's not a fan of Rise of Skywalker either. Yeah, few people were. Let's see here. I do find interesting the sheer number of people who reacted to Star Wars: Last Jedi portrayal of Luke Skywalker as a bitter defeatist. Even one with some correct ideas about the Jedi's poor choices in the prequels. With a big "not my Luke" not my Luke. Some Star Wars fans wanted to see Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker in a manner in which they were accustomed, including Mark Hamill himself, by the way. Let's see here. In a manner in which they were accustomed, namely as a classic take charge hero who would storm onto the battlefield and take out the First Order with a lightsaber. That's somewhat what happened, but I digress. No, it didn't. It didn't happen. It didn't happen at all, not even somewhat. But I was pleasantly surprised to see that audiences cared that much about Luke Skywalker at all. Why? Why are you surprised? He's kind of the core character of the entire thing. He's the entire core character of the Star Wars franchise. He was the character that the entire thing revolved around. And you're surprised that fans like Luke Skywalker? Really? Oh, that's just interesting. Why would you be surprised at that? People like the hero of the main character of a series that they love? That's surprising to me. That doesn't make any sense. Why would they be surprising at all? Leon, hey LD, folks. Hello, Leon. Hello. Juno Single, hi, I exist. Hello, congratulations. Congratulations. Let's see here. Juno Single, congratulations. And hello, everyone. Hello, people coming in. Hello. Let's see here. Okay, so that fans had issue with Luke Skywalker's portrayal in The Last Jedi, again, without getting into whether his character arc is consistent with his journey in the first three Star Wars movies, or his dad's history of imploding after personal tragedy. Contradicts well, there was no personal tragedy until they create a personal tragedy. It was a huge personal tragedy for Anakin Skywalker. Is this a writer really trying to connect Luke's personal tragedy to Anakin's personal tragedy? Anakin's personal tragedy that has been built up for 3 movies, and compared to Luke's quote unquote personal tragedy that had no movies and it was just kind of talked about. It happened off screen. It was just talked about in the conversation. We didn't actually get to see or see any build up toward, and so we didn't have any emotional connection to Kylo Ren before he turned evil, and Luke Skywalker and the relationship between the two. And not the same thing. Not the same thing. We got to see development. We got to see character development from Anakin and Padme in the prequel movies. Okay, the prequels were better written than the sequels apparently, and here's proof right there. He's trying to make a correlation. He's trying to make a connection, a parallel, trying to highlight a parallel between Luke's tragedy and Anakin's tragedy. Not there. It's not. It's not the same thing at all. Especially on a narrative point of view, from a writing point of view. Gemini Samimi, thank you much too. Good morning, LD. Well, good morning, Gemini Samimi. Thank you much too. Appreciate that. Awesome. Let's see here. And then we have contradiction conventional wisdom about the characters are most popular with most audiences. If you listen to Hollywood, in terms of how to craft new heroes and revamp existing heroes, audiences don't like the straight arrow Boy Scout. They prefer Han Solo to Luke Skywalker. I mean, he wasn't a Han Solo was happy. He was fun. He was a fun character. He wasn't a brooding psychopath who lived on a lived by himself. Han Solo was charismatic. He was upbeat. He was a I mean, yeah, he was kind of downtrodden every once in a while, but he was kind of because he was kind of a realist. But he was charismatic. He was fun. He was a very exciting character, and he brought a little bit of that bad boy edge with him. Far cry from what the kind of character we see Luke Skywalker turn into, is brooding, sad loser who gave up on life. That wasn't Han Solo at all. Han Solo was full of life. Okay, he was a full character who was a Jack Sparrow. You know, he was more of a Jack Sparrow type, I think. Jack Sparrow to Will Turner, and Batman to Superman. Luke Skywalker and Superman are often used as templates for the kind of Dudley Do Right hero filmmakers claim to avoid because audiences allegedly can't relate to them. Well, consider this. I mean, Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, Jack Sparrow, Will Turner. They go good in pairs. Okay, they go very well. Their effectiveness is amplified when they're in pairs. Okay, when they're in pairs. Not really so much when they're on their own. They tend to be these character traits of theirs, the Boy Scout, so to speak, and then the roguish character. These character traits are highlighted and they're made more delicious, so to speak, by being put together, and then we could see them. You could see how different they are. I see, Leon, back about 20 years ago, before the prequels came out, Lucas said parts 7, 8, and 9 were not supposed to be about Luke at all. Just saying. Yeah, I mean, but they made it about Luke. The sequels made him about Luke. Unfortunately. That was mentioned a little bit earlier. They could have set the sequel series. They could have made their own thing. They could have made it 1,000 years later and have Luke just be a legend and have a new character, and not have to tarnish his reputation at all. Unfortunate that they went the route that they did. Hopefully, we're still up. We're still up. This says we're good on my end, connection wise. Hopefully, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Let's see here. Okay. But even recent history shows the fallacy of this argument. Okay. Well, Guy Ritchie blames Luke Skywalker's alleged unpopularity as the reason why Charlie Hunnam's King Arthur had to be a bit of a jerk. King Arthur and the Legend of the Sword was a giant bomb. $149 million on a $175 million budget. A month later, Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman earned a $821 million worldwide, despite Gal Gadot not so reluctant hero. Martin Campbell, Wonder Woman did very well, if I remember correctly. And I haven't seen the movie, but it seemed like she was trying to be portrayed as the straightforward, traditional hero. You know, like Superman. Let's see here. Martin Campbell and friends tried to stress how Ryan Reynolds, Hal Jordan, as Green Lantern, is closer in spirit to Han Solo than Luke Skywalker. But that superhero flick earned just $220 million on a $200 million budget. That same summer, 2011, Joel Johnston's Captain America, the first Avenger, overcame conventional wisdom and skepticism about Steve Rogers being too much of a gee whiz do-gooder, earning $371 million worldwide. I kind of like Steve Rogers the way he is. I like Captain America being the so-called gee whiz do-gooder. I like those characters. Audiences loved Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark, but they also loved at least as much Chris Evans' Steve Rogers. Well, audiences thrilled to because they go well together. They they make a good pair because they're kind of opposites along the same spectrum, heroic spectrum, that is. The numbers: Wonder Woman was made as a superhero movie, while Captain Marvel was made as a feminist movie. Thusly, the audience loved Wonder Woman and didn't care about Captain Marvel. Exactly. They touted Captain Marvel as a feminist movie, and they made her kind of a villain. They made her the type of person who would crush your bones for looking at her the wrong way. And that's not heroic. And I didn't see Wonder Woman, but I did see Justice League. And the way that Wonder Woman was portrayed there was just a straightforward hero. She was a good guy. Now, let's see here. Let's see. Captain America both. Uh, okay, let's go and start here. Audiences loved Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark, and they also loved, at least as much, Chris Evans's Steve Rogers. Well, audiences thrilled to Daniel Craig's grim, dark James Bond. I didn't. I don't know about you, Chant, but I don't really. I mean, I watched them. I kind of like them, but I'm not really. I didn't really like his portrayal of James Bond because it was gritty and grim. I prefer the old James Bond. I prefer the Sean Connery James Bond specifically, where everything was over the top and exciting, and everything that you're not supposed to like anymore. I really like how campy it was, all that good stuff. And that's really much the new grimmer, more realistic James Bond. Didn't really like that one as much. See, Alex Halo. So what are we reading? Welcome, Alex Halo. We are reading about the revelation brought to us by Forbes that Star Wars fans like Luke Skywalker. We didn't know that. I mean, something obviously we didn't know, but the the conjecture here is that the backlash to the Last Jedi, the huge backlash to the Last Jedi, showed that Star Wars fans actually like Luke Skywalker. Very very new development. I'm not sure if people know about this. I'm glad Forbes is here to enlighten us. Dr. Crow, old Bond is best Bond. Yeah, I'm full agreement. Full agreement, Dr. Crow. Old Bond is best Bond, in my opinion. Especially, my favorite is Sean Bond, the Sean Connery Bond. Let's see here. Drunk Mumble. Casino Royale was pretty good, but yeah, every other movie felt like they sucked the fun out of the franchise. Casino Royale was pretty good. My favorite opening was for Spectre. Not really such a great movie, but my favorite opening was the Spectre opening. And it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I really enjoyed the artsy way they did it. But every other one, it was not all that great. Not all that great. Skyfall was just kind of silly. And Quantum of Solace. I don't remember Quantum of Solace. I do remember Casino Royale. That one was pretty good. It was all right. It was an acceptable movie. Hex Harper, which movie's your favorite? It's a lot of James Bond movies. I kind of like them. I kind of like the Goldfinger. I really like Goldfinger. That one was good. Mainly because of how it was such an iconic movie, and I could see why it's such an iconic movie. Like a Goldfinger, he was strapped Bond down on a literal bar of gold. Was going to cut him in half. Oh, it's fantastic. I really like Goldfinger. I like the one with the mayor with the golden gun. It was okay. It wasn't as great as I thought it was going to be. It was good. It was watchable. This is with Scaramanga and all that stuff. But it was fine. Yeah, it was fine in my opinion. There was so many Bond movies. It was really good, really good. But oddly enough, the more you get towards modern year, the more boring it becomes. Because I guess they want to make it more scandalous, or they want to make it more realistic or whatever. Marker 3D Goldfinger was really fun. Yeah, it was really fun. I really like Goldfinger. Easily one of my favorites. And maybe From Russia with Love. Maybe From Russia with Love. That was good. Let's see here. Andrew Sabina. Goldfinger was the one that really cemented the Bond film formula. Yeah, I think so too. It was such an iconic movie. Such an iconic movie was Goldfinger. It was really good. Okay, let's see here. The audience is thrilled to Daniel Craig's grimdark James Bond, and really every official version of the famous super spy was essentially a bad guy who was on our side. I know that they liked him because he was charismatic. He knew what he was going to do. He was the guy who knew exactly what to do in pretty much every situation. And he was rarely ever caught off guard. And even when he was able to make it look like he was planning it out the entire time. He was just that sure of himself, that competent, charismatic. They also love Tom Cruise's kamikaze Ethan Hunt, the Mission Impossible hero and Captain America. Both refuse to trade lives and are both so relentlessly righteous that they make those around him, Rebecca Ferguson's Lisa Faust and Scarlett Johansson's Natasha Romanova, into better people. Critics toast the glories of the TV anti-hero, Walter White, Don Draper, because they're bad guys. So we want to see a heroic movie. We'd like to see heroes. We're into a. The thing is also about Walter White is that he started off as more righteous than everyone else. He was essentially, comparatively and relatively, a hero compared to all the other characters in the series. He was more noble. He was the noblest character we found in the series until he goes pure evil later on. John Doe, does Bond really need to be set during the Cold War to work? If I want to watch James Bond, Jason Bourne, or Archer, I'll watch those. Yeah, exactly. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. Because I guess James Bond doesn't really need to be set in the Cold War to work. He can work in modern day. It's just that when they set him in modern day, they took away all the campiness away from him. I mean, there are James Bond parodies happening all the time, and they sometimes keep the campiness in. In fact, they parody him because of the campiness, and they're very enjoyable. But the modern era of Bond took away most of the campiness. In fact, they made fun of the fact they took it away. They make fun of it. They say that that silly stuff with radios in the shoe and all that stuff. And that's just silly things. Now we have more realistic items like radio. Yeah, I go to James Bond for campiness. I want megalomaniacal weirdos who are obsessed with gold or something, trying to take over the world. And I want the super spy to stop them. I see Shadow Loaf knows. Goldfinger, all around best Bond film. You Only Live Twice. Best final fight. Spy Who Loved Me. Best car chase. That was pretty good. GoldenEye, best plot. Yeah, GoldenEye was great story wise. Her Majesty's Secret Service, best twist. Sean Connery, best Bond. Sean Connery, absolutely best Bond. Let's see here. And Neil, that's why I love the first Kingsman movie. Exactly. That's why I like the Kingsman. I like all the Kingsman movies so far, or both of them. There's only two of them. Hope it doesn't go full woke. But yeah, I like the Kingsman movie because it brought back the campiness of James Bond. You have all these weird and pretty much impractical, these awesome, really, really cool devices and gadgets and stuff. And it was over the top. People want this stuff. People definitely want this stuff. Let's see here. Harry Nicker. Hello, chat LD. Hello, Harry. Hello. Andrew Sabina. But of course. Sean Connery was amazing. Sean Connery was fantastic. Let's see here. But audiences consume in much greater numbers TV shows like Criminal Minds, The Good Doctor, featuring old school heroes. Even Christian Bale's Batman movie was fundamentally a decent man in decent time, highlighting the need for compassion and mercy in a city often lacking in those elements. That's the beauty of Batman. The beauty of Batman was a noble character who existed in a horrible environment. His Bruce Wayne, who only pretended to be a jerk to hide his nighttime activities, was far more embraced compared was far more embraced than compared to Batman Ben Affleck's at the end of his rope homicidal Dark Knight. People didn't really like that. They didn't want the murdering Batman. They wanted noble Batman because that's what his character is, an unbreakable hero. And if you ever read Neil Gaiman's Whatever Happened to the Cape Crusader, it's pretty much a love. That whole story is pretty much a love letter to this aspect of Batman, the unbreakable, unstoppable, noble hero. Pundits and executives argue that the Dark Knight showed audiences demanding grim dark blockbusters, but A, they missed the visual splendor, humor, and unapologetically pulpy thrills baked into the Chris Nolan's flicks, and B, they ignored that the success of The Dark Knight was followed by the bright, colorful, and somewhat optimistic likes of Avatar, Star Trek, and the Avengers, Frozen, Furious 7, and Jurassic World. Sure, the YA franchise, Harry Potter, The Hunger Games, etc., were often quite dark and violent, but the Planet of the Apes, really, Harry Potter? The first couple of Harry Potters were not, but they fell into darkness eventually. But they had a lot of uplifting stuff too, and Harry Potter was supposed to be this hero. He's actually a pretty good hero. I don't remember if people say he's a Mary Sue. I don't know if he is or not. I don't think so. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't looked into it, but he actually is a pretty decent hero, more or less. Oddly enough, women tend to write really good male heroes. If you go to I think Ayn Rand also made the competent man hero. Uh, J.K. Rowling made a really good competent. Harry Potter had his weaknesses. He wasn't the best at everything, but he had his weaknesses for sure. Absolutely. Do you know single? When is the next real video? Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. 'Cause I'm planning on making the next video coming out, and I want to make a series of videos soon after that. So I'm working on a bunch of them at the same time. Hopefully, we get some new videos in fairly soon. I'm working on several videos too, so it's not just one. So you can have several to look forward to. But yeah, it's coming along. It's coming along. Have not finished. I'm not done making videos or anything like that. But yeah, I was just putting some time into it. And let's see here. They were dark and violent. The Planet of the Apes reboot was borderline nihilistic. That's not criticism. However, the idea that every blockbuster had to be like the stereotypical perception of The Dark Knight, or that the success of Iron Man meant every new hero needed to be an edgy jerk, didn't quite fit. Moreover, a poll released just before global opening of The Last Jedi showed that Princess Leia is the most popular character, followed by Luke Skywalker, Chewbacca, and Yoda, R2-D2, and only then Han Solo. Maybe, just maybe, a young Princess Leia forms a rebellion. Prequel/origin movie might have been more successful than Solo, a Star Wars story. It's not to say that Rian Johnson and friends were wrong to turn Luke Skywalker into a defeatist hermit during The Last Jedi. First, J.J. Abrams, The Force Awakens, teased at Luke's tragic post-return of the Jedi backstory and tried him on a desert island. Second, to the extent that Mark Hamill's Luke was presented as less than idealized in that Star Wars story, his characterization was mostly consistent with his original trilogy behavior. His final pacifistic redemptive act was one for the Jedi record books, and the film had comparatively conventional heroes in Rey, Leia, Finn, and Rose. Yeah, but they weren't really characters. They had no personality. They weren't fleshed out. They were just there to be like a pair of pants, essentially. Luke wasn't initially the hero because it wasn't his story, but rather Rey and Kylo's, which was, of course, part of The Last Jedi was all about. Okay? The relative backlash, to the extent that the film's cinema score, rave reviews, and $1.333 billion global gross compares to SEO-friendly online negativity. And wow, that's a lot of negativity then. And displeasure from folks actually involved in making the movies. shows that Luke Skywalker really was popular after all, and that maybe audiences don't mind the conventional answer to the call Boy Scout template. Okay, yeah, maybe people really enjoy the Superman character. Maybe they do. Spoilers, they do. We actually do. Let's see here. Really was popular after all, and that maybe audiences don't mind the conventional answer to the call Boy Scout template. Recent history shows that audiences still embrace the excessively conventionally heroic like of Steve Rogers and Ethan Hunt, at least as much as Tony Stark and James Bond. That may explain at least some of the disconnect between critics and audiences, especially those craving nostalgic escapism. That's something to consider when prepping the next Superman movie. Yeah, as far as I can tell, people didn't really like the Man of Steel movie, and people still a lot of people still overwhelmingly prefer the old movies, the old Superman movies, where he's still the Boy Scout. We want the Boy Scout character. We really enjoyed him. Let's see here. Let's see here. Uh, so we're still getting Death Note, and we're getting skipping. So we're still getting internet issues. Interesting. Boro B can't send messages to LD. Not sure how does this thing work. I think you can tag me, I guess, to make it easier to see. But oh well. We'll see what happens. You see here. Do you plan on making more games? Do you plan to do some more games playthrough in the future? Oh yes, absolutely. In fact, I was going to do it this weekend. However, I forgot to. People would have been. I don't want to tear people away from Mother's Day because it was Mother's Day this Sunday. So because Dr. Alpha has reached 41,000, what I plan to do this weekend is having 2 days in a row of gameplay. So I have the Fate Stay night game. I just have to get to work properly. So this weekend, what I'm planning to do is having a Saturday be have a stream on Saturday, being a playthrough of Fate Stay Night, and then because we probably won't finish it that day, then having another playthrough on Sunday. So Saturday and Sunday we'll have video game playthrough streams. And there we go. Hopefully they answered your question. But yeah, I do plan to have some more. Christopher Cole, when we see a character that we've seen grow up, like we did with Luke Skywalker, of course we're going to like him. We don't like a hero with no struggle. Exactly. That's why no one likes Mary Sue's. No one likes Mary Sue's. Let's see here. Okay, so that maybe explain some of the disconnect between audiences and critics. That's something to consider when prepping the next Superman movie. And when debating how dark and gritty to make the next Batman Begins ripoff. Hope so. And that's it. So yeah, it's almost as if Rian Johnson's portrayal of Luke Skywalker wasn't the best portrayal. It's almost as if people really wanted a bright, shining beacon of light in a dark galaxy to help guide us through this, guide the characters through a harsh and trying time. It's almost as if people really enjoy the Boy Scout archetype, really enjoy the Superman type character. And that's pretty much it. So it's almost as if that's happened. People like it. Anyway, chat. I thought that was pretty good. I thought that was interesting. But I want next question I have to ask. Any anime fans out there? Mark in 3D. Right, had the heroine's journey. You know what? I've been planning to do a video eventually on the heroine's journey. I think it'd be fantastic. The heroine's journey is a real thing, and it might not surprise you to learn that it was made by feminists. That men have a journey called the hero's journey. Why can't women have their own journey? They always have to see something that that men predominantly do or whatever, and they say, "Oh, look, we have to make a women's version of it." Because the hero's journey is universal, even though even according to Campbell, it was mainly predominantly done by men, taken by men. The hero's journey, and that women were kind of the reward at the end of it, according to Campbell. it's pretty much universal. You can have Ray still follow the same journey. Okay, it still works the same way. But of course, one of his students we had to go to the feminist route and say, okay, we need to make a female version of this. There always be a woman's version of everything, according to feminists. It can never, it can never enter their mind that one thing can fit all. One story forward where they can fit both men and women. That's something they can't really think about for some reason. Hicks Harper, a heroine journey would be far more useful than the heroine's journey. Yeah, pretty much. I have to think so. I think so. Neil, you have to be on heroin to think the heroine's journey is a thing. Yeah, it really isn't. It's very strange how it goes because the heroine's journey includes the hero's journey, but the entirety of the hero's journey, like the entirety of Luke's journey for all three movies, is only one step in the hero's journey. The silly men, they're so simple and dumb that the whole journey for them is a whole journey. It's a whole. They make it all more the epic and everything like that. They make it far more trouble than it is. And of course, the heroine's journey is a feminist version of the hero's journey. So of course, it's going to be far more complex, far more deep and philosophical, and so it's far more complicated than the silly men have to go through. Obviously. But the next thing is, I hope some anime fans out there, and check this out. Uh, they started coming for Star Wars. They started coming for Star Trek. Now it seems they have their grubby hands in anime.
Well, looks like we're going for part 3 in the House of Fata Morgana situation. Big thanks to AY for tagging me on Twitter. It looks like one angry gamer has an update to the situation as I mentioned, and now we'll take a look. Looks like this article contains a number of tweets from the Manga Gamer translator. Now, if you're out of the loop on this, let me give you a really brief recap. So, House of Fata Morgana game came out a few years ago. It was making news recently because a certain line of dialogue, specifically tsundere, was changed to fragile male ego. People started talking about that, covering that.
Yeah, so that's I think it's the biggest portion of this video is that localization. They changed the term tsundere. Okay, they changed it from the English translation. They changed the term tsundere to fragile male ego. So that's what happened, Chad. That's what kind of change they have in there. Hatch 450SX, welcome Hatch 450XX, welcome. Didn't miss too much.
You then had the translator making a statement, the developer making a statement, and the localizer all making a statement. I covered that situation, pointed out some weird things about those statements, and then I did a lot of due diligence on the companies, Novectical and Manga Gamer, the companies behind the production, because Novectical sided with Manga Gamer, and despite the translation being questioned by a lot of people, reasonably so in my opinion, Novectical sided with them, and I pointed out some reasons as to why that is. Long story short, comes down to money, comes down to finances. So that's the old news. I will leave a link to those videos in the description of this video if you want to take a look. On that note, if you hit the thumbs up button on this video, it would be much appreciated. Now, while I did spend a good amount of time looking into the companies behind the production, Novectical and Manga Gamer, I did not really look into the translator themselves. If anything, I tried to give the translator a little benefit of the doubt. If you saw my prior coverage, I said how pathetic it was that Manga Gamer, in the face of this criticism, decided to cry that they were being harassed. Terrible statement from Manga Gamer, not a very great statement from Novectical either, but the translator's statement, at least they seemed to listen to the criticism and explained why they did it. Well, it turns out that I may have been a little misplaced in putting good faith forward like that. Let's take a look at these tweets. Translators' hot takes about men. So we have
it should be good.
One example here.
It should be pretty good. It should be interesting. Let's check this out. This whole thing is called the Manga Gamer localizer. I think it's done by Manga Gamer, who changed tsundere, the term tsundere, to fragile male ego, because that's so much better. It really doesn't. Apparently, it really does hate men. So let's see how much they hate men. Let's check this out.
A tweet that says, "Not an entirely inaccurate representation of men." And you basically have these characters, these guys, and the way the woman main character sees them is looking like some weird goblins or something. The translator says that's not an entirely inaccurate representation of men. Goes on to say, why are men like this? This is a different tweet.
Say Alex Halo and First 5, appreciate that. Remember everyone onigiri or donuts. I remember that. Gay couples are cousins, and tsundere are fragile male ego. Oh, and whales are icebergs. Localize your logic. I remember that one. I remember that one from Pokemon. I remember them taking out Jesse and James many years ago in the early Pokemon episodes. They took out what they say is a donut, and I said, well, that's not a donut. Is that a Japanese donut? It was really onigiri. I came to learn eventually. But that's localized logic, I guess, for you. See, this is the stuff that looks nothing like a donut. This is a donut, and that's a. I just assumed it's a Japanese donut. That's what I was going for. Like, okay, I guess that's what donuts look like in Japan.
Says being suspected of rebellion enraged him so much that he actually started one. So I guess she's implying that men are all mad or something. I don't know. There's another one that says, we call that force, society, and men. The caption in the image seems there is an evil force afoot, shooting down all of our suggestions. And says that's society and men. Wow, yeah, seems like the same type of person that complains about the patriarchy and likes to make any number of excuses for why they don't succeed at things. Honestly, in my opinion, I've already seen enough here to not believe the translators, what they said before their statement, the one I tried to give the benefit of the doubt to. I feel kind of foolish for doing that now. Not really. I don't really feel foolish. I think it was a nice thing of me to do that. But now here's the update. I mean, I don't believe now that the translator really meant to translate Yandere to fragile male ego because they thought that was good work. I mean, at this point, it's pretty clear, in my opinion, that they don't like men, and they add a line like that in the game. I think I know why. Oh my gosh, look at this. Translator says, God is Argatha seriously about a ragtag group of poor, oppressed men banding together to overthrow the matriarchy. The more I think about it, just geez, this is insidious.
That sounds good. What anime is this? What game is this? These poor oppressed men who get together to overthrow the matriarchy. That sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty good. What game is this? Where can I play it? Zofrat, as a kid, I didn't know what a donut was, so I thought they looked like that everywhere. Okay, so yeah, so I knew what a donut was when I saw that, but I thought that was a Japanese donut. It's like, okay, because different cultures. Even then, I knew different cultures had different way of doing things. So I thought like, okay, I guess it's what donuts look like in Japan. I guess that's how it works over there. Apparently, this is a localization thing. We're turning donuts into we're trying to make Japan America or something like that. It's really peculiar stuff. Pretty funny though.
As heck, using two of the franchise's biggest queer/gender non-conforming characters to legitimize this narrative that women are the bad guys and men are being oppressed. How did this SHIT get approved? So while we joked around earlier about the translator probably being the type to complain about the patriarchy, well, we get something pretty close to that, no surprise. More weird hot takes. Translator says, not to mention it's doubly weird in a game with a voiced, fully fleshed out protagonist. These feel like things that should have been left to me, the player, but Haraki himself. But alas, such is the way of the visual novel. I feel like it's going to be difficult for me to get through the Izumi stuff without constantly screaming about how heterosexuality has brain-wormed society into rejecting the very concept of friendship between...
What is going on here? Hold on, Chad. We're gonna rewind this a little bit, and this is getting ridiculous. Okay, let's rewind this a little bit. Then I have this go over here. Okay, while I'm doing that, Criminal Imagination. Thank you much for the 5. Appreciate that. I'd like to point out that last caption was from an anime where introvert girls want to get it on with men. Can't have that. Can't have that at all. That's it's a big no-no these days. Let's see. I got it back up here. Hatch 450 SX. Thank you much for 5. Appreciate that. Did you see Inuyasha sequel announced? I saw that actually. I know a lot of people who actually like that show, or a lot of anime watchers. They really enjoyed that news, and I actually saw it. I've heard Inuyasha is a really good one. That's not one I've seen. I have heard of it though. I know. All I really know about Inuyasha is that he's like a wolf demon or something, and then he has like a necklace or something where I know Kagome and Inuyasha because there used to be a meme on Toonami. They kept calling each other's names. And then the other thing I know about that is that Kagome has that necklace where she has Down Boy and he falls down to the ground. But I think it's taken from Journey to the West. I think there was a device that did that to Monkey. I believe so. And I think that's where the word might have come from. Probably, maybe, I don't know. That work has a lot of influence on things. Okay, so wait. Did you see that was announced? At least they got one thing right. Susumaru is the hero of the last series. His daughters seem to be main characters. Interesting. I'm glad they did that right. I'm glad they're getting something right, because usually these sequels and remakes and stuff, they usually aren't all that great, and we've seen that several times. Seen this happen several times. Okay, let's see here. Midnight's Edge After Dark. Good morning, Electro Devil. Good morning, Midnight's Edge After Dark. Welcome. Director Duelist. Nothing beats a jelly-filled donut. Great lost pause noises. Yeah, I can't. Jelly-filled donuts are really good, especially in Japan. Let's see. Alex Halo, thank you for two. Appreciate that. The gay couple changed from Sailor Moon. I remember that one. There's supposed to be. I forgot which one they were, but it was a big controversy. And I forgot what sailors they were. But I remember they changed them from lovers to cousins in the localization of it. But they were like they were lovers, but in America they were just cousins. I forgot what the names of those sailors were. I know like this Sailor Moon and all that stuff, but I forgot what those were exactly. Which ones, which planets they represented. Let's see here. Hatch 450SX, thank you much for 5. Appreciate that. And Inuyasha dead and had a daughter too. Sengo has 2 girls too. At the end of the series, see 605 girls, no guys. Oh, okay. So they're saturating every, but it's anime though. Is it really bad in anime? Because I know if it was in the West, they'd be making this a political thing, and that they're all be Mary Sue's. But if it's anime, I'm not really sure if it's going to be that bad of a thing. I don't know because they tend to want to put more female characters in so they can have more fan service, not for a feminist agenda thing. So I don't know. If that's good or bad. I guess time will tell, I suppose. But appreciate that. Because if it was made by Westerners, then yeah, it's probably going to be bad. It's probably going to be 100% woke. As a Hex Harper, Neptune, and Uranus, I think. Yeah, it's one of those weird ones. It's like ones from you don't really hear all that much of. Darth Milk, Inuyasha. Yep, Inuyasha, where one character regularly beats the other into submission at any provocation, real or imagined, until that character gets Stockholm Syndrome and falls in love with her. LD. That sounds pretty like a feminist thing to do. It's like a feminist series to me. No wonder it's getting a sequel. Anyways, continue for now.
Weird in a game with a voiced, fully fleshed out protagonist. These feel like things that should have been left to me, the player, but Haraki himself. But alas, such is the way of the visual novel. I feel like it's going to be difficult for me to get through the Izumi stuff without constantly screaming about how heterosexuality has brain-wormed society into rejecting the very concept of friendship between men and women that doesn't involve intimacy. This tweet almost doesn't even make sense. They say, on one hand, I'm surprised we made it 3 months in an apartment in the city surrounded by bars before a Friday night loud drunk man pounding on the door down the hall and shouting event. Now, I get what they're saying. There was a loud dude who was drunk or something outside the house pounding on a neighbor's door. The way they...
Yeah, people get drunk and they become belligerent. It's not all that unusual. It's not, sorry to tell you, but it's not exclusive to men. Okay? Anyone can get drunk. Anyone can become belligerent while drunk. It happens. It happens to everyone. Well, people who just drink in excess, it happens to.
Write that, though, is very bizarre to me. And then they say, on the other, delete men. And another similar tweet, they say, oh man, here we go. Delete straight men. I think I've seen enough.
Delete men.
This person seems like a...
Delete men and then delete straight men. I think maybe she was called out on the other one. Because, hey, you wanted to get rid of homosexual men too? Uh-oh. Gotta specify. Only delete straight men. Okay. Gotta specify that one. Can't be a bigot. Can't be a bigot, chat.
Weirdo, in my opinion, and a complete bigot, which is ironic because they probably like to claim that they are against bigotry, and you see how they act. What a mess. And let me remind you that Manga Gamer employs a number of localizers who are just like this one. We had a whole leak from their Discord server, from the localizers channel, the channel where it's only the localizers for Manga Gamer. They had all kinds of terrible stuff to say about people. You got this too. You see it on their Twitters. You see it in public on their social media. You see it in private on their back-end channels. What a mess. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. I'm going to assume that this will be the final update on this specific situation. However, I'm going to also assume that this is not the last time that we're going to be talking about Manga Gamer here. So please subscribe if you're not already and consider hitting the notification.
Yeah, so localization is being handled by these people who are just completely woke. And they, of course, they didn't want tsundere, the term tsundere in there because that's they might see it as an attack on women or whatever, or demeaning or whatever to women or whatever. And so they changed tsundere, of course, to fragile male ego. Of course, because of course they did. But I found this video, chat. I found this video on next on Feminist Monopoly, so we can just go ahead and check it out. Feminist Miss Monopoly reviewed in board game playthrough. So 5 minutes long, not that long. It's not a whole playthrough. Let's check it out. Feminist Monopoly.
The first game where women make more than men.
Okay, yep, that sounds good. That sounds reasonable. Women can make more than men in regular Monopoly. You have to play better than the other guys. Okay, you could anyone. It's universal. This whole Feminist Monopoly thing seems already to be like a game that it's just stacked for one gender over the other. Regular Monopoly, you can make more than anyone. It's universal. It doesn't play sides. You just have to play better. Okay, so we played Miss Monopoly to see if the feminist twist is worth your cash. No, it isn't. I can already tell you that right now because it's called Miss Monopoly.
Who you are is up to you. Inclusive. But Miss Monopoly is offering women a higher payout at the start of the game and more money when passing go.
How much do I start out with?
If you're a woman, collect $240. If you're a man, only collect $200.
But that was real. When somebody said that women get 240 and men get 200 and women get paid more, that wasn't a joke. It was actually real. See, some of these things, like I always say, you can mention these things. It sounds like you're trying to make a joke, but then again, it might not be because these people are crazy. These people are insane. Oh, so that was correct then. That was actually a true statement. It was not meant to be a joke. Okay, it was going to be fantastic then. Dolomaticus, I'll have to say is anime will have to do what Warhammer 40k did and ruthlessly protect it, or given enough leeway, we'll do it to it what was done to comics and other entertainment. Unfortunately, I've seen hints that they're trying to get their hands into Warhammer 40k. I've seen it already. It's not predominant yet. I think they might have failed the first time, but they'll try again. Christopher Cole. The funny thing is that the very first version of Monopoly was created by a woman. Now that I didn't know. Adam Post, welcome Adam Post. Maniac, he says. Absolutely, Adam Post, absolutely. And they are maniacs. This should be good. We're only 22 seconds in, and it's already been gold. It's already been absolute gold.
200.
As it should be.
Ideal for us.
The game is addressing the wage gap.
Although like $40 to close that. As
it should be. Only $40. You're getting $40 more than men. And so this is what happens. This is telling you the entitlement here. I only get $40 more. I only get $40 more. What should you get like $100 more? You should be getting the same exact amount.
It's not enough. So your tokens are a white hat, notebook and pen, jet plane, a glass, watch, and a barbell.
I'm gonna do the barbell because this is how.
Why a barbell? Is it going to be a strong woman or something like that? It signifies how strong they are. I don't know. That's weird.
Much I can weigh and realize.
God.
Board spaces are not properties anymore. They're instead inventions by women.
Hey, what? They're not properties anymore. This inventions by women. It's not monopoly then. What are you doing? Investing into inventions? Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. Also, how upset would they get if a man started with all these weights on his arms, like with all these disadvantages in the beginning, and still ends up winning anyway? Like, what if this guy who's playing with these two women, what if he ends up winning? What if he just ends up winning at the end of it? That'd be fantastic. Flynn Glockwood, delete this. If only. If only. But why would you want to? Why would you want to? It looks fantastic. It looks so much fun, doesn't it? Obviously, if you don't like this, obviously if you don't like this version of Monopoly better than the original version of Monopoly, you just hate women. You just hate women. Let's see here. I'll take things women can lift for 200, Alex. Suno Jingle. Can you please look at the original script for Dragon Ball Evolution? It's crazy. It has talking dogs, evil albinos, and an evil gypsy girl, and Emperor Peel. Oh, they had Emperor Pilaf. Now, Emperor Pilaf would have fit well, even how terrible that movie was. That'd be fantastic. Emperor Pilaf would have fit right in. Let's see. Diplorabology. Thank you much for 2. I think we need an entertainment industry crash. We have one. We have one. You're right. It did work. It worked quite well. People were snapping out of the trance that the entertainment industry had put them in. It's called the beer virus, as far as I've heard. The comic-cough, as others have called it. But it seems to be working. People aren't become disenfranchised, disenchanted from the current slew of entertainment swill that we've been shoveling down our throats recently. Let's see, Christopher Cole. It was originally called Landlord's Game, patented in 1904 by Elizabeth Maggie. The game was later sold to Parker Brothers. Interesting. So, the original Monopoly game was already feminist. I'm pretty sure that if the properties have been replaced by things women invented, I'm pretty sure, or at least I highly doubt, or I'm wondering anyway. In any case, I'm wondering if one of these things that women have invented was the original Monopoly game. Because if they did add that in there, I'm pretty sure it might go ahead and shatter their narrative to pieces. Pretty sure about that. Let's see. Criminal Imagination. Thank you much too. Tell that to the guys who bought Edna Krapopoly. I've never actually heard. Is that a new one? Is that like a spin-off of Monopoly? It sounds pretty funny. Sounds like a funny version of it. Wizard the Board Time Lord. Would you check out the CBR headline generator? I think they might use it for real websites. That could be interesting. Maybe for next time. That could be interesting though. All these. I'm pretty sure it's going to be woke or something. That'd be great. And this is a game about capitalism too, so I wonder if it's burning their eyes just to play this game at all. Hey, Darth Milk, if you don't hate women, then you must buy this version of Monopoly, because after playing it, you will hate women. This is a big propaganda piece, I guess. The numbers: Kung Flu, Wuhan virus, Comic-Cough, Chi Bai, and any others. The Comic-Cough is my favorite one so far.
You can purchase some things that wouldn't have existed without the women who innovated them.
Leak-proof diaper.
Oh, this is so cringe. Leak-proof diapers. Who wants to buy that? I want to buy properties. Okay, give me some hotels. Also, you know how there's that function in Monopoly where you buy hotels, and to make to make them pay more when they land on your property. So you buy like houses and you buy hotels, and they have to pay like instead of paying $4 or something, they have to pay 10 or something. What are those in this game? What are those? I'm interested in finding out. That'd be interesting.
Marianne Donovan created the first leak-proof diaper out of nylon parachute cloth. Later on, she invented the first disposable paper diaper. How more badass can you get? Reliable, adventurous, leak-proof.
More like parrot. Am I right?
Home security system Marie Van Britten Brown. In 1966, she invented a home security system, including a camera designed to look through peepholes.
Coffee filter. Again, another life-saving tool. In 1908, Melita Bentz didn't
What if the original Monopoly game was all about buying up, instead of properties, things that men invented? I don't think the feminists would be happy about that one. I don't think that that would be the case. Adam Post, slumlord hotels on Baltic Avenue. That was was all about, baby. Exactly. You just buy these. There's certain strips of properties you can buy up, and then once you get all of them together, you can start buying hotels and stuff on them, and then you can start charging more for when people land on those properties. So what are these in there? What are those? Like I don't know. I don't know what they be. Is it because would it be none at all because they're charging more would be capitalism and that'd be bad as bad stuff? Who knows? See, Terranigma. The whole anti-male movement was started by a bunch of man-hating, angry Western white women, and they behave like entitled Karens. Yeah, the anti-male movement. I think what you mean is it was just started by Karens. The Karen is the final form of the feminist.
like when there were coffee grounds in her coffee. Who can blame her? So she created the first coffee filter by punching holes in a brass cup and lining it with paper.
Oh, community chest. You get a
I'm ready.
you get a flat tire on the highway. Ooh. At least you know how to fix it. Thanks.
Well, yeah, 'cause he's the man. Of course, he's good. He's always good on how to fix it. Thanks, Monopoly. Pay $50. $50. Don't you ever have a spare? Why is making a spare cost you $50?
This Monopoly paid $50. There was a boardroom meeting about do we put whether or not they know how to fix it on the card. For sure.
Do you think that boardroom was filled with mostly men or women?
Men, for sure.
Community chest.
These are so weird.
Yeah.
You see the new superhero movie.
I kind of the one male player is the guy they've already taken the balls away from. He's already been emasculated. He's already been neutered. He is the perfect pet. He's a purse puppy. What would your boy Zach likes to call a purse puppy? A purse puppy. Hatch 450 SX. Exactly. All these streams are being moved over to the first edition channel. If you just in case you want to watch the replays, and it has been working. Dumping all my streams from here to the first edition channel has been growing that channel and saving this one from YouTube's knife. So at first they were gutting me horrifically for having so many live streams on here, but now they've stopped doing it as much. I mean, my channel has been starting to grow again, and producing pretty much daily content over there for the first edition channel has allowed it to grow as well. So it's been a win-win moving things over there. Market 3D, you want to kill us, LD? Is this is this your new torture device? I am the literature devil after all. And believe it or not, we're only 2 minutes in. We're only 2 minutes. It's not even like an hour-long thing. It's only 2 minutes in out of 5 minutes. It's already this cringe beyond belief. And let's see here. Hex Harper, thank you for the 5. Appreciate that. The key to winning series of monopolies in the middle. Never buy hotels because a house shortage because of a rule technicality. Then you wait. Yeah, I remember buying hotels was a big step. It's like, okay, do I buy a hotel or I keep all the houses here? And the hotel that does technically help you out, I guess, but it was really a question: do I keep all these hotels? I mean, keep all these houses or move to hotels? Monopoly is a very fun game. Very fun game. I really enjoyed it. But it's never anything like this. Never about how men invented things or something. Adam Post, what kind of maniacs created this game? Well, you know, the worst kind, the Karens. The Karens made this game, Adam Post. The Karens did. And no one likes Karens. No one likes Karens. Not even Karens like Karens. Like you fill a room filled with Karens, they'll all eat each other alive. Let's see here. Shadow Loaf knows. Thank you much for the £5. A Karen, a Sharon, and a Sim play. A Karen and Sharon and a Sim played a board game. And no, it's not a setup for a joke. It sounds like it would be. Sounds like it'd be perfect. So a Karen, a Sharon, and a Simp walk into a bar. and then the joke kind of ends, I guess. William Emerson, thank you much for 2. Appreciate that. Whoever gave LD the first dislike in 2 weeks, big L. Oh, we have a dislike already? Oh, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. What did I do, chat? What did I do? What kind of horrible thing did I do to you that that would cause you to dislike my video? Let's see. QC Warlord, thank you much for 2. Appreciate that. That Devil's Line. We're only 2 minutes in. We're only 2 minutes in. We are out of 5 minutes. In fact, we're at the exact 2-minute mark. There's only exactly 3 minutes left in this thing. It's 5 minutes and 6 seconds, and we're at the 2 minute and 6 seconds mark. So let's keep going, I suppose. Let's see, Hex Harper. Technically, yes. The rules state that you can't have surrogate pieces for additional housing. You can only use what's provided. If you never buy hotels, those houses aren't freed up for others. Now that's interesting. I didn't know. Never thought about that one. Never thought about that one. Sketch Therapy. Welcome, Sketch Therapy. Sketch Therapy. They are mad. They are madmen for the railroad power company and phone company. Yeah, those are the railroad companies. I love buying those. I always love buying the railroad companies because I think they're on each side of the board. And the more you buy, they really rack up how much you can earn from them. Okay, let the torture continue. The torture continue. Oh, by the way, Sketch Therapy, am I able to contact you through your YouTube channel? As when I get to when I'm finally doing the Gundam stream, so you can hop on. So I know you don't have a Twitter. Anyway.
With a female lead, and it's awesome. I would collect. Wait, what? I'm gonna collect 50, but if I'm a man, then I collect 100.
Wow. Wow. If I play this game, I guess I'll just identify as a woman until the game is over. But they can't stop me, I guess. Why she seem almost insulted? If I'm a woman, I collect 50. If I'm a man, I collect 100. Oh, from that one? Let me see. Hold on. Let's see if we got this correctly. Hold on. Let's rewind it a little bit. Rewind to chat. Go ahead and take this off the screen real quick. And get this. Okay. Let's continue here. Need it back up.
Filled with mostly men or women.
Men, for sure.
Community chest.
You're so weird. Community chest.
You see the newest superhero movie with a female lead, and it's awesome. I would collect. Wait, what? I'm gonna collect 50, but if I'm a man, then I collect 100.
There we go. There's some fairness. The man begins with $40 less than you do. There's finally some fairness there. And guess what? If it's a superhero movie, maybe more men go see it. Who knows? Unless it's Jason Momoa or something like that with his when he's shirtless. Then more women will go see it, of course. Let's see. Criminal Imagination, they thank you very much for the 5. Appreciate that. I have been beaten by my friend at SSX while he had cheats on it, and I went vanilla. It was the funniest ever. Fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah, so I wonder, how it's you see all these other shows where it's where the hero plays fair, but the bad guys, they cheat and everything, and at the very end of the movie or the show, the episode, the good guy still wins despite their cheating. I would feel like that every time I played this game. I feel like like every man who played this with women, it'd feel like that if you ended up winning. I'm almost determined to play this and win against some feminists. Unless they really change up the rules, then I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay, so let's see here. Keep going.
My barbell.
You're so strong. You can do it.
So you don't.
He's not acting there, folks. That's exactly how much effort he need to put into lifting the barbell. Shiny FX, what is this? Welcome, Shiny, by the way. It's one of the most cringiest reinventions of a board game I've ever seen. That's what this is.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Jail!
Windshield wipers.
This was the one.
Mary Anderson in 1903 after noticing that drivers had to reach out of their cars to clear snow from their windshields while driving.
Here
Thank
you
you
go.
so much.
And you're on Community Chest.
You get a promotion. Collect $150.
Typical.
If you're
Okay.
a man, collect 100.
Good.
Miss Monopoly strikes again.
Escape. Oh, okay. Have one of those attached to my apartment. Anna Connolly in 1887. Before Anna Connolly's fire escape bridge, people had to parachute or rappel from burning buildings.
Chance. All right. Do you find yourself on an awkward date? Advance to fire escape. If you pass, go collect $240.
Advance to fire escape.
You're leading
That's
the date through fire escape?
so funny.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jetting out of there.
It's an actual card. Leave through fire escape. This is a pretty ridiculous game, chat. This is a pretty ridiculous game. We're almost done though. We're almost done.
I learned that no matter how feminist you intend your product to be in design, that you're gonna run into a lot of issues and problems if you're not really thinking about what you're doing. And that doing things like design.
That's wrong. You'll run into problems regardless because these weirdos will always look for something to complain about. So no matter how quote unquote feminist you make your game, it's never going to be good enough. It's never ever going to be good enough. Imagine the X this guy got any puss after this video. I'm gonna press X on that one. I'm gonna press X on that one. GBOF, Sid, a Karen, a Sharon, a Simp, and Patrick Bateman walk into a bar. There we go. There we go. Now that's gonna be a happy ending, I think, after the end of all that. I think it's gonna be a happy ending on that one. Let's see here. Deplorabology, thing number 2. Real misogyny needs to return. I'm joking. Let's see. Let's continue.
Designing a community chest card that pays men more just for seeing a movie that stars a woman and paying a woman less for it is the wrong message to send to 8-year-olds who are the starting recommended age for this game.
I just think that it kind of.
Start recommended age should be nothing. No one should play this game. No one should play this game at all. It's awful. It's awful. It's only here for people to play it unironically and then for the rest of the world to laugh at them. That's why it's here. Okay, thank you very much for the 2. Is that guy a simp? At the very least, he's a simp. As far as I understand the term, which I'm not sure what it is now. The numbers. Breaking news. LD says real misogyny needs to return. Breaking news. Can't forget that one.
The mark on certain things and certain, moments where it's like a woman. Those like stereotypical things of like.
I know it seems silly to cry about Captain Marvel or Star Wars or The Last Jedi. You can't stop until they change what they're doing, until they wake up and realize that they're destroying people. They're taking away our balls.
Yeah, the recommended starting age is 8 because they want to get them early, Chad. They want to indoctrinate them early. That's how you do it. That was gotta get them early. As Zorfrats, recommended age, don't. That's what it really should be. Just don't. Okay, Chad? Just don't.
I went on the date, so I left because I wasn't confident enough to say like how I feel.
Like a joke, but like that's
get
like
that.
No, but that's weird. It's weird.
Right.
It's
There's a
weird.
lot of built-in. There's a lot of. It's funny because we're talking about how this game is supposed to be like feminist, but there's so much built-in like not feminism in this.
I would have rather cards like, oh, because of the gender gap, you lost X amount of money, or kind of like a harsh reality.
They want it more harped on. That's feminist. They want it more harped on. You begin play with more money because you're a woman, according to the rules. That's pretty feminist, and the man gets less money. Christopher Cole, I guess the entertainment industry would have to pay audiences to see a Mary Sue superhero. Audiences aren't paying to see them, so they'd lose money either way. Yeah, no one wants to see these superhero movies. No one wants to see Mary Sue's anywhere at all. Not even a little bit. Nowhere at all.
reality that's like I get not
Or you both get a
fun.
new job, but here are your different starting
Right,
salaries.
right.
Yeah.
And or your company, congrats, just like
Maybe because even the people who know, maybe even the people who made this game know that the wage gap is more of an earnings gap and not really a wage gap at all.
got maternity leave or got something this new
Yeah.
idea
Oh my
that
God.
teaches you, one, how can we make improvements,
Yeah.
and two, where are we still lacking. That like, yeah, I mean, why are we playing off that going to jail is like fun and like somehow makes this game exciting, but also like the gender gap, we're supposed to be like, yeah.
I just want to say, how self-made can you be?
I just want to say, by the way, I just want to say, attention everyone, just want to say,
If you're the niece of Mr. Monopoly.
That is true.
Is that wrong? Is that wrong for me to say?
yes, it is. Yes, it is. Let's get out of here. Who won the game? I'm betting he did because they didn't tell us who won, and that'd be pretty bad. You can't say that this guy won the game. The guy won at Miss Monopoly. Let's see here. KH and Much of the Five, appreciate that. They changed the age column to mental age for Sims, HWs, NPCs, entitled B itches and brats. And don't forget journalists. Don't forget game journalists, which are probably have a lower IQ than all those people combined. Let's see here. The numbers. They wanted women to have more oppression. They did. They want women to have more oppression in this game to signify how oppressed they are in the real world, Chad. See, Matthew J. Nimnall, you called it. They freaking said it wasn't feminist enough. Yeah, they did, didn't they? They said it wasn't feminist enough. They're not satisfied with the high level of feminist this thing is, where all the properties are not properties at all. And in a game where they replace all the properties with inventions made by women, the game still isn't feminist enough. The game still isn't feminist enough. Now, the one for Mr. Tanya, just wanted to say, up. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Shiny FX. How are they not happy with this? How are they never? They're never happy. They're not happy people. They're very miserable people. Very miserable people. Let's see here. Go rid of that. Go ahead and close that. We're finally done with that video, chat. Finally done with that video. Wow, was that cringy? That was cringy. That's one of the cringiest things I've ever seen. Okay, chat. Okay. So, let's see what else we have here. Okay, chat. Let's see. Almost there. So, we're getting close to the 2-hour mark, but let's see if we can squeeze this in real quick. It's a video by just some guy, and he goes over. We went over, I believe, on Saturday with the Riri Williams, or maybe it was a couple episodes ago, I think. But the Riri Williams reaction, we have people reacting to Riri Williams getting her own show on Disney Plus, despite the fact that she's been canceled a few times because of low sales. It's like most SJW characters canceled multiple times because of low sales, or not very popular, very horribly written, and bland. But of course, all the people who are celebrating her coming to getting her own show are not caring about how the quality of the character or how much they loved it. But their only excitement is coming from, well, the only excitement at all is coming from the fact that they're enlightened, or they're enthusiastic about how upset it's going to make everyone else. And that's where they're getting their joy from. That's essentially what's happening. So Riri Williams is not coming in to her own show with a fanfare of "We love you." It's Riri Williams is coming to her own show with a fanfare of "We hate everyone who hates this show. We're going to enjoy and really dig into, really enjoy the fact that people hate this show. People hate this character. And that's what we love." And unfortunately, things are happening that I can't. Unfortunately, the entire internet has frozen on me. I know you can still hear me because the thing is still going, but I can't click anything. Everything has frozen, so I can't show you. I might have to restart everything. I might jump out and jump back in real quick. Hope it's not too bad. Let me see what I can do, chat. See what I can do. 1 second here, chat. 1 second. If I disappear, I'll be right back. Be right back. Hopefully, if things close, hopefully I don't have to restart anything. Go ahead and get this up here. And yeah, I'm going to have to close the internet real quick and open it back up because it's all frozen. It's just all frozen. So let me go this real quick. And task. That's all frozen. So give me a second here, chat. Okay, so yeah, nothing is working anymore. Nothing is working anymore. It's just all of a sudden just stopped working. It stopped working. I can still talk to you, but what I can't do is close anything or click on anything or get any videos up. Because of course it's not. So 1 second here, chat. Let me try to fix it real quick. I'm trying to fix it. Okay. Okay. Which means I can't even end the stream either. I can't end the stream either if I wanted to. So unless you want me to talk today all day to you without showing you anything. Let's see, close program. Here we go. Let's see what works, chat. Let's see if this works. Okay, almost. I think we might be getting there. Let's see what happens. We'll see what happens. Okay, chat. I might have to restart everything. I might have to restart everything because nothing is happening. Nothing is working here. The internet has just imploded on me. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, I'll be right back. I'll be right back, chat. Don't leave. I will be right back. And we're back. Everything's fine now. Everything is fine now. We're back up. We're back up. Everything is fine. We can continue. And but we'll go on a little longer. We're going a little longer today to make up for all the what seems to be a lot of technical glitches coming up. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. So, no problem here. No problem. Let's keep going, shall we? Everything is back up. Just waiting for everything to load back up. We'll be fine. And we're back up and running. We're back up and running, chat. Back up. Okay, got this up here. Got this up here. Everything is fine again. Everything's fine. We'll go in a little bit longer if you want to. Then the normal 2 hours, no 2.5 hours or so. Plenty of stuff here, chat. Like I said, plenty of stuff here. Plenty of nonsense to go over. So we can go. We could do a little longer show. A little longer show. So let's see here. Let me get back up. This back up. Share the screen. Now we'll get on with today's nonsense. Okay, got this, and it is right here. There we go. Some guy, remember this is going to be about the Riri Williams thing. Everyone enjoys the show. Everyone who applauds the show coming on are only applauding it not for the fact that they actually like the character, but because they're really, really enjoying the thought, not the reality, but the thought that so many people will be upset by this. Newsflash. Not very many people are upset by it. We're kind of confused by it because no one really knows who Riri Williams is, and no one found her very popular. She wasn't a very popular character. And that's how it goes. So it's very confusing why they would make her and give her own TV show, because she's basically just a ripoff, a very lazy ripoff of Tony Stark. But apparently she's supposed to be smarter than Tony Stark. She's supposed to be a lot smarter than Tony Stark for some reason. Already at 15. She's like an anime protagonist. Christopher Cole, the beautiful thing about the internet is that you'll never run out of nonsense to talk about. Exactly. It's an endless stream of it. An endless stream of it. So let's check it out.
To debut Ironheart on Disney Plus, and this brings me nothing but joy.
You know why it brings us nothing but joy? Because now we're going to have a whole new. There's kind of reloading our. It's kind of refilling our gas tanks, aren't they? Now we're going to have a whole new show to talk about, and mock and make fun of, and have so much joy from. Leon is Riri Tony's daughter? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure she isn't. She's just another propaganda tool for Marvel to harp on.
Yes, I'm gonna love every minute of this shit show. And I can already hear the soy boys. How can you call it shit when the show ain't even out yet? Because I know her origin story.
We know the character, and even if we didn't, okay. Even if we didn't know the origin of Riri Williams, if we didn't know her character, even if she didn't have her comic before this, even if she didn't fail over and over and over again to garner her own audience and her own popularity, we already know what kind of showrunners we have these days. Even if this was a brand new character they're creating from scratch for this new show on Disney Plus, it's going to be woke. It's going to be 100% woke. That's all they know how to do. They don't know how to write anything. They don't know how to make stories or characters. But one thing they do know how to do is be woke.
To hear the origin of Riri Williams? Yes.
Shuri, and she and Shuri are the smartest in Marvel? I don't know. Because there is another smartest girl in the world who isn't actually a main character. She actually is in America Chavez, though, which is a Marvel work. And according to that work, America Chavez by Gabby Rivera, there's a 9-year-old black girl who is deemed to be the smartest in the world. So they're kind of fighting over who takes that title. Thank you for that, Mr. Biggins. Shiny FX, I can't wait to collect those male tears. Wait, why do I hear maniacal laughter? Yeah, if there's going to be any male tears about this show, chat, it's going to be tears of laughter and joy.
That's the character's name. created by Brian Michael Bendis out of extreme white guilt for being a Jewish man who adopted a black child. So he creates this character who's supposed to represent his daughter, and I guess what he thinks is the black experience. So how does he do this? Well, Riri is from the south side of Chicago, the South Shore to be.
Let's see, GBOF Sid, thank you much for the 5, appreciate that. Riri, the Canadian answer to the question mark. Riri? Canadian answer to the question mark, exactly. But the thing is, your boy Zach and Ethan Van Sky were having a stream, I believe yesterday, or maybe the day before. But they were talking about this particular phenomenon where they're having all these black characters and trying to dictate, these white men trying to dictate, or these white men and white women trying to dictate what black men and black women should idolize as heroes, which is kind of like non-threatening, neutered black men and quote-unquote strong, independent black women. And the thing is, with all these geniuses, the black women are always geniuses. And the thing is, your boy Zach pointed out that these, now you can take this or leave it, but isn't it true that these people are always, that these writers, these woke writers are always into subverting your expectations? So think about that for one moment. Hex Harper, thanks for the 499. Appreciate that. HW's, no, you're supposed to be angry about a new show. YouTubers, hate revenue goes cha-ching. So yeah, this is going to be. They're not handing us they're not handing us a loss here, chat. They're handing us a victory because now we're going to have so much fun making fun of the series, as Hex Harper has eloquently pointed out. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. But here, this is the thing, chat. So take the fact that these weirdos, these SJW weirdos, like to subvert your expectations. That's all what they're about. It's like just like what was Ryan Johnson in Last Jedi. They like to subvert your expectations. That's all they like to write about. That's the main thing they like to write about is subverting expectations. Okay, so, and I've said that several times already, so that we can get the point across. So, what kind of characters did they make? And your boy Zach puts it out in his terms. He says, So SJWs really like subverting your expectations, and so the board meeting must have gone like this. So, hello guys, okay, I got this idea for a new character, and it's the new Marvel character that we're going to pump out these days. And I, being a male ally here, have created the opportune character, the best character we can possibly do, and it's going to subvert everyone's expectations. So here's my idea. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a female black character who's smart. I'm waiting for your applause. So I know I'm subverting expectations, right? It's disgusting when you think about it like that, isn't it? That's pretty disgusting. But when you put everything together with the trends of SJW writers and NPC writers, things get pretty disgusting. They get pretty horrific. They like to subvert expectations, but they always put out characters that they think are subverting expectations. Pretty disgusting. Because this means, it goes to show us that these NPCs, and it goes to validate. We already know that what they are, but it goes to validate for us. These people are racist bigots. They don't see minorities as people. They see minorities as little children to protect or whatever. Essentially, that's what their philosophy is, and we know that they really don't. What they're really doing is trying to step on the backs of minorities to get more clout, to get more woke points. But what your boy Zach painted out, as he always does, in a very apt way, that one, they like to subvert expectations, and two, they like to make minorities better than everyone else. They like to give minorities attributes that they think minorities don't naturally have. It's pretty disgusting. It's pretty disgusting. Criminal Imagination, in Richard 5, appreciate that. Why do black women talk about wanting no broke inward if they strong independent? I don't know. You think they would want the broke men to around them so that they can prove how strong and independent they were. Matthew J. No, white people shouldn't dictate what black people look for in heroes. White writer literally doing that by saying that. Exactly. Exactly. Dolomaticus? No devil, it's worse. They see us as pawns to be discarded once used. Exactly. I'm pretty sure that's true. I know that's true for the Hispanic community, in accordance to the Democratic Party. Like the Democrats, it's around election time. Suddenly they start caring about Hispanics again. Every other day of the year, it's just one minority group that they favor. Uh, During election time, oh look, Hispanics, we finally remember you exist. Hello, Hispanics. We started carrying hot sauce in my purse. Uh-huh. Sure. Okay. Whatever. Uh that's essentially how that goes. And so this imagine that. Just take this remember that. Every time you see this new character coming out from woke media and how they say, "Oh, look, we're going to oh, you think you guys all think black men are big, tough, aggressive and scary, but I'm going to subvert your expectations by making a black male character who's docile and neutered." This is their ideas of good writing, chat. This is why no one buys their stuff. It's why no one buys their stuff. It's disgusting. It's horrible, horrible schlock. Shiny FX, just give me Captain Cisco, please. Yes, give us more Captain Ciscos, please. Give us heroes who punch out deities and gods and then make them never come back again. Give us heroes who lead the charge against an pretty much impossible to defeat enemy and win. Give us those characters. Give us those guys back. Okay. Give me Captain Cisco any day of the week. Hatch 450SX, name 2. Elon Musk is sick of Cali. He's moving his Tesla. I heard about that. He's moving his Tesla plant. I heard about that. The lockdown in California. They really want to lock it down forever until I think a vaccine is made. I think what they're really trying to do is destroy their own economy. Destroy their own economy to own the Trump. That's what I think they're doing. So Elon Musk and all these business owners are finally fed up with it. And they're moving towards states that are probably more business friendly, which so happen to be like Republican run states. So they're moving to places like Texas. But I heard about that. I heard about Elon Musk moving his businesses out of California, which is probably a pretty devastating thing to them because Elon Musk, I think, generates quite a bit of money. Dolomaticus, if you really want to see SJWs get ugly, be a black guy that is conservative. That is when they just drop the mask. Oh yeah, I've seen that happen many times before. If you are a minority that is conservative, they will try everything in their power to silence you because that goes against the narrative. They cannot have that happen. They cannot have that happen at all. Let's see here. Tyler Preston, thank you very much for 10. Appreciate that. Awesome. Appreciate that, Tyler Preston. Sorry for being gone for a while, but been busy. No problem at all. I could have used that 9-year-old black girl as an audience to reintroduce Jack Kirby's Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur in the style of the Iron Giant. Huh. That actually might be pretty interesting. I would like the Iron Giant. And Jack Kirby always has some interesting things. Jack Kirby always has had some interesting things. So, yeah. Well, welcome back, Tyler Preston. You're gone for a while. Welcome back. Glad to see you back. Dr. Crow, looks like you managed to get things working. Yeah, you can super chat again. You can super chat again. Yay. Congratulations. See, Dr. Crow, thanks for $1.99. A vaccine they approve of. Yeah, oh yeah, that's it. It has to be a vaccine they approve of. So it has to be what it has to be not racist vaccine or something. It has to be kosher. It has to be I don't know. Whatever they're going to put, it has to be a feminist vaccine. It has to be invented by a woman. So, oh yeah, you have a vaccine that's supposed to be proven and it works and it's safe for the commie cough, but was it invented by a woman? I don't think so. We're going to keep on lockdown. California, just stay locked down forever. Like, yeah, just go ahead and say we stay locked down forever if that's going to be your attitude. Anyways, keep going.
Exact. Her father, who was also called Riri, a name I've never heard given to a man before, gets shot and killed in a robbery. Then her mother, Ronnie.
By the way, Chad, I remember reading this. I even did a video on the first issue of Riri Williams. Her parents are not named in the first issue. It's just Riri Williams' friend and her. Those are the people who are named. And her father dies, and her best friend gets killed. And that's what happens, but we don't really learn what their parents' names are called in the first issue. Kind of neglectful on that part. You would think that her parents, the names of her literal parents, would be told to us in her first issue. You know, like Uncle Ben, Aunt May, Spider-Man's aunt and uncle, even though they're barely in that first issue. They're only mentioned, I think, 1 or 2 times. One being to dictate to us how much Peter Parker loves them, and again over the sad fact that his Uncle Ben was killed. Maybe one more time, but yeah, the first outing of Spider-Man told us who Ben and Aunt May were after they're introduced. Once they were introduced, they told us the names. Here, they never did, and her parents are technically the first some of the first characters introduced, other than the really strange psychologist / principal guy. That's what happens. They don't really care about the names of her parents because they're not important. Not important.
Because of course she's got a man's name, remarries, and one day at a family picnic when Riri's 13, there's a drive-by shooting, and her best friend and stepfather get killed. Now, you gotta remember, Marvel has a sliding time scale, so this drive-by would have happened sometime around 2005 to 2010. I know Chirac is wild, but ain't that many drive-bys happening in South Shore at that time, baby. But okay, I mean, this is what Bendis thinks of black people, apparently. Our daddies get killed in robberies gone wrong, then our stepdaddies get killed in drive-bys. Anyway, Riri.
Yeah, this always think about the most racist stereotypes of minorities, and that's what these SJWs and NPCs think is real, like for everyone. It's pretty gross. It's a pretty gross way of thinking, and that's why people don't buy this stuff, chat. That's why people don't buy their things, because it's gross. But they call us bigots. Of course, they call us bigots, because of course they do. Of course they do.
Girl, not the man, is a super genius and gets a scholarship to go to MIT, where she knocks off Iron Man's suit by stealing one of Tony's old suits and reversing.
And then they have her steal Tony Stark's ideas, and she steals the parts to make the suit in the first place. Like, she steals from it. She doesn't just steal ideas; she steals parts and things. And did you know Bendis went over to DC and he did the exact same thing? The exact same thing. Okay. He made another teenage black girl super genius who stole the powers of the Green Lantern. So Bendis went over to DC, made some new black girl super genius, teenage black girl super genius, and she hacked into Oa. She hacked into the center of the universe and hacked herself some Green Lantern powers. She stole the Green Lantern powers. That's what Bendis did. So Bendis didn't do this once. He did this twice, where he made a super genius black teenage girl and had her steal everything. Had to steal all her powers and all the stuff that made her that brought her to a superhero status. So it happened twice already.
Engineering it using stolen material from MIT. She's so smart, one of the smartest people in the Marvel Universe. So smart that instead of creating her own armor, she just steals someone else's and slaps her name on it. Excuse me.
Didn't build that.
So after she yanks Iron Man's junk, the cops come a-looking for the little thief, but she dips out in the suit and uses it to stop a totally convenient prison escape. But the suit gets damaged in the process. Now, Tony Stark has been known for not sharing his technology so that it wouldn't fall into the wrong hands. So when he finds out about Little Miss Froho, he decides to support her being a superhero. You think I'm making this up? I'm not. This is the character's actual origin story. And why does she become so obsessed with Tony Stark? See, one day back when she was 8 years old, she randomly told the white teacher that she wanted to be a scientist. And when the white teacher said, "That's great,"
Oh, yeah, that's the good one. This is the good part.
Riri got mad because the teacher was supposed to be racist and tell her to be a nurse instead. You think I'm joking? Look at the screen. These are the actual pages from Invincible Iron Man number 8, written by Brian Bendis, where he has the main character stare down a white teacher for not, I remind you, not being racist. You're supposed to tell me, "Sit down, Riri. You know niggers can't be scientists." No, why would I do that? You can be whatever you want to be, even though I'm a nigger. No, I mean, yes. You can be anything you want to be, even if you're a nigger. Black. I was going to say black, but you meant nigger. Stop saying that. Saying what? That word. What word? You know the word. I'm not going to say it, but you're thinking it. Because you keep saying it, girl. Just sit down.
Titanic Tuna hacked with computer into the Green Lantern power. What exactly? Yeah, I think that's what she did. She took the computer and she hacked into Oa and stole the Green Lantern powers. That's canonically what happened. And it's same writer, same Mr. Bendis here. Same writer who did that.
I mean, look at her face. This creepy little girl eyeballing her white teacher like she's gonna stare the racism into her. Brian Michael Bendis wrote this totally played straight. It's not a joke. This is really supposed to be Riri Williams' origin story. So to stop this girl from trying to bring racism back, the teacher comes up with some shit Riri can clearly never be. Oh, you can't be Tony Stark. And Riri's like, gotcha, bitch. So you're damn right I want to see this show. I can't wait to see how they explain this shit to whatever poor actress has to play this role. She did what now? Wait. Her call to adventure, to heroism, is that both her daddies got shot. She tried to make her white teacher be racist, and then she stole Tony Stark's tech and acted like she made it on her own. It's like an inverted birth of an...
Hey, see, I got a plague. Anyone know where the Doki Doki the streams are stored? Couldn't find them under first edition. They have their own playlist. If you want to look for them, it should be on a Doki Doki playlist. It should be listed somewhere on there. So we can't find them on the homepage. Try clicking under the playlists on the first edition. It should be pretty easy to find. It should be anyway. If it's not, just let me know and I'll see what I can do. Hex Harper, thank you much for the two. Press me, darn you. Riri clearly has a fetish. Yeah, she does. She needs someone to oppress her so she can be motivated. Zofrets, can I make a comic? It's now you have to say no so I get motivated to prove you wrong because you're an evil shadow person. No, Zofrets, you can't make a comic. It's impossible. You don't have the capability to do so. Their pluribology, thank you much too. This some guy is a hard R superstar. Yeah, it's hard R superstar. That's what he is.
Nation, I gotta see this show. What's it gonna be called? Riri Williams Porch Monkey Extravaganza. Make this show. Make the show, you racist bastards. Go on and make it. It'll be the best blaxploitation show ever. Ironically, though, they'll probably have higher ratings than Vagrant Queen. But
oh yeah, Vagrant Queen. If everyone didn't remember what Vagrant Queen was, so Max Visaggio, one of the a Marvel writer, comics writer, the worst writer I've ever read anything from, got her own TV show on the Sci-Fi Channel called Vagrant Queen because I think she had a comic book called Vagrant Queen, and she got a deal, bragging about it, and saying, "Haha, where's your TV show? I got my own TV show." I think Vagrant Queen lasted 2-3 episodes before it was canceled prematurely. Yeah, it's gone already, chat, because its ratings were so abysmally low. They had to go ahead and pull the plug on it. They couldn't even finish out the first season. After like 2 or 3 episodes, it was yanked from the lineup. So there's no doubt that just by the very fact that it's going to be on Disney Plus, it's going to get higher ratings. It has to, unless it's all that much worse. Who knows? Let's see here. So we have some more chat. We'll keep going. Don't worry, we'll keep going for a little bit longer. Let's see here. What should we do next? Oh, shit. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay, we got this. Your boy Yellow Flash. And it's a pretty interesting thing he's covering right now. So let's check it out. Thor ditches Hollywood. So it looks like I always say, chat, it looks like people are tired of this woke nonsense. People are tired of being told what to do. People are tired of being called racist and bigots and istophobes for not liking things based on writing or whatever. Tired of being called this and that. Everyone's tired of being canceled. Everyone's tired of being restrained and restricted because a bunch of angry people on Twitter are going to throw up a mess or a fuss at the slightest drop of a hat. Ricky Gervais was a big one. He came out against Hollywood and said, okay, you guys need to stop telling us what to do. You guys need to stop moral grandstanding over us because you guys are not even much better. You guys are way worse than everyone. And you're hypocrites. And you're horrible, horrible people. So Now Thor has left. Chris Hemsworth has left. So let's see. Let's check it out. Let's see what happens.
Everybody, it is May 9th. It is a Saturday. Hope you're doing well. So I want to talk about celebrity culture because, I remember a time when celebrities were kind of looked at as the American royalty. And it seems like that's just kind of went down the drain. I talked about this quite a bit over the past 2 months, how the day of the movie star is over. Like, no one really cares about who's in a film anymore. I have Extraction pulled up for a reason I'm going to talk about.
I really hope that's the case. I really do hope that the day of the movie star is over. And they need to stop being people who are telling us what to do and go back to people who just act for us in films. They need to start dancing around for us in films again. That's their job. Okay, their job is to play a character in a movie or a TV show, not dictate to us how we're supposed to live our lives. Okay, that's not their jobs. Your job is to dance around for me on TV. That's or on a screen. That's your job, actors. Okay, you're not that big of a deal. Not even all that essential to day-to-day life. Okay, just get back to the screen, get to acting, and let us live our lives how we want to, and let us vote how we want to. Okay, just because you live in Hollywood, because you're a big-time celebrity, doesn't mean you know anything better than anyone else. If you read up on things, if you study things, if you have knowledge, then maybe you do. But just because you're an actor that has fame doesn't mean you suddenly gain a plethora of extra knowledge. It's not a video game.
About that in a second. But I wanted to just talk about how Hollywood has just kind of lost its way. The whole everything going on right now, everyone being locked down, has really exposed that. My favorite example is Madonna freaking out in her rose-petaled bathtub. Who can afford to just fill a tub full of... And she had there was obviously 100 or 150, 200 plants that she had used to make that bathtub full of roses.
And see, Darth Milk, Darth Mick, this is how you would write a particularly despicable villain. A character trying to force racist opinions on people, stealing the hero's tech to use it for her own selfishness. Yeah, that's what actually all the reviewers of Riri Williams, that's kind of what they've been concluding, that she's a villain. Isn't that strange? Isn't that particularly strange how that actually happens to SJW NPC weirdos? How the characters that they make. That's kind of peculiar, isn't it? How every time the NPC or NPC writers come out with a new quote-unquote hero, everyone always assumes by how they act and how the trajectory that they're going, that they're going to become bad guys. Riri Williams being one, America Chavez being another. Rey, they assumed that she was going to turn to the dark side. Captain Marvel, she seems more like a villain than a hero. And the trend seems to go on. They're trying to portray these heroes as heroic, but everyone just assumes they're going to become villains or something later on. Strange how that goes, but it is how that goes.
Who can do that? It's like, what is it for a dozen roses? Like $17 or something? I think like most people, you only buy them around Valentine's Day. So the price is probably inflated. Let's say $13, right? Something like that for a dozen roses. So that's a lot of money to just waste on a bath, right? People see that and they get disgusted. And then you see all these people talking about how hard it is and their big compounds, people eating these 5-star meals and stuff, and it just...
Is it Shiny FX? Do devils have a race? Yes, it's called the Master.
Turns people off. Ricky Gervais, that's why Ricky Gervais hit such a nail when he went after Hollywood people and told them to shut up and just entertain people. That's why people like him so much now. That's why his stock has risen, because people are tired of it. So, it's going to be an interesting couple of years because people just don't respect Hollywood elites anymore, and I like that. But you can really see the difference between ones that are down to earth and normal and then the crazy ones, And I think that a lot of it has to do with where they live and just how they present themselves. And that's why I want to talk about Chris Hemsworth. He was in this movie Extraction on Netflix, which I could also talk about because I've talked about how movies are just changing. This is why you talk about the downfall of the movie theater, right? AMC losing stock. They've lost a lot of money. They're in heavy debt. These were problems before everything going on right now happened. The movies were just falling, and that had a lot to do with the tentpole movie. You know, movies that kind of hold up the theater in between big blockbusters. Those have gone to places like Netflix. So you have this movie Extraction it cost $65 million to make, according to Wikipedia. $65 million. That's not that much money when you look at the bigger picture of how much some movies cost to make. It's relatively cheap. You know, and you had, I think the Russo brothers were involved in it, and that's why Chris Hemsworth was involved in it, because they liked him and they've worked with him in Marvel movies. And this has actually been, I guess, a hit. I haven't watched it yet. I really do want to watch it. It actually looks good. I hear it's a good movie. But a lot of these films are going to streaming services. So this is a movie that would have been a tentpole movie to help keep up the movie theaters while they wait for a big blockbuster. And this is one of the reasons why movie theaters have kind of fallen down, and I don't think there's really any saving them. I think they'll become a premium product. You'll get some kind of good premium service. Maybe they'll show classics, stuff like that. I don't know how to save the movie theater industry. And I don't know.
The brutal action flick. That sounds good to me. I think people are ready for this. People are ready for this unsanitized, this fair and balanced sort of movie. We don't want politicized stuff anymore. No one wants this. We don't want movies that echo the views of Hollywood. We want movies that we want action movies that give us brutal violence and have a powerful, strong main character. No more of this war is bad, guns are bad, and you're bad for liking these things sort of message. Let us enjoy movies again. Okay, bring down the tone of these actors. They still get paid their millions, but it's because they get paid millions doesn't mean that they have any authority over what we should be doing with our lives.
I don't know how to save Hollywood either. I really don't. You have stuff like this. Rose McGowan come out and says she believes Hollywood is a cult. She should have escaped sooner.
Yeah, Rose McGowan has really come out against all this Hollywood nonsense, and I'm pretty sure it's not for the right reasons, chat. I guess we could take allies where we can get them, because Rose McGowan first came out on the Me Too side because she thought she could get clout there, but Alyssa Milano, she far overshadowed her, and she couldn't gain clout. And then the moment Rose McGowan was starting to gain traction, something happened. I forgot what it was. I think it was maybe the impeachment or something happened. Something happened that took all of her thunder away. So the moment she was about to get on the spotlight, it's like going out to the stage, it's like getting called out to the stage, and finally you're able to perform, finally you're able to get all the adoration you've been hoping for, and then someone bursts on the stage, and everyone is paying attention to them now, and you kind of get shuffled off to the sides. That's what happened to Rose McGowan. She was going to have a big Me Too movement debut. She was going to get like all the adoration. She's going to get all the fame and fortune that comes with being a hero of the Me Too movement. And then something happened. Something overshadowed her. Something stole all of her thunder away. And now she's come out against Joe Biden. She's come out against Hollywood, and now she's gained some new clout. She's gained some new fame and fortune by being a person who criticizes Hollywood. So she's found her niche, and I guess we'll take allies where we can get them. But I'm pretty sure, chat, it's not for all the right reasons. It's not because she actually believes this stuff. It's because she said, "Hey, I think I can get clout here. I think I can get the attention I want here." So, yeah, you can support Rose McGowan, but do not fall for this trick. I'm pretty sure this is an act because she can get clout here. That's pretty much just it. Nexus 906, very much for the 2. Appreciate that. Extractions, a great and violent action movie, 9 out of 10. So it is on Netflix. I'm going to watch that now. I've not heard of it yet, but according to this, this Yellow Flash video and your recommendation at Nexus 906, I might watch it while I'm working on my next video. Appreciate that. Thanks for the 2. Shiny FX, take allies where they can. Pretty much how feminists think of male allies. Pretty much. But they don't respect them. So, I mean, people are starting to gather around Rose McGowan because she is criticizing Hollywood. And I won't demonize that or whatever, but just be aware. I'm pretty sure it's not for the right reasons, chat. Pretty sure it's not for the right reasons. So you might pump up Rose McGowan just to take a blow at these weirdos, but don't fall for her stuff. Okay, it's just she's looking for clout chasing. She's clout chasing, and she found that she was kind of snuffed on the side she was already on, the Me Too side, and she found more attention here on the anti-Hollywood side. So she's going all in. She's going absolutely all in. So yeah, this keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind while you like her tweets or whatever. Not like some of her tweets, because even though she might not be in the coming from the right point in time, because she's not coming from the right place in her heart, it's nonetheless seems to be true. These Hollywood types are overwhelming evil people. They're horrible people, in fact.
You'll know her as the big figurehead behind the hashtag METOO movement. By the way, not this lovely woman in the video. This has nothing to do with that article. This is Rose here. She's one of the only people that have stood by her principles and went after Joe Biden and been supporting that Tara woman, which I think is pretty interesting. How everyone's kind of forgotten about that, and it's like, oh, well, we'll just go ahead and forget about Joe Biden. But anyway, Chris Hemsworth. I want to talk about him. So Chris Hemsworth does not live in Hollywood. Doesn't live there. Lives in Australia. And I don't really know much about Chris Hemsworth outside of his stuff in the Marvel movies. And I think that's largely due because he just doesn't run his mouth off. And maybe that has something to do with the fact that he doesn't live in the Hollywood cult. You know, this happened with Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle had a big breakdown. And he's detached. He's been pretty vocal about how crazy Hollywood is. He just lives in like the middle of nowhere in Ohio. Now, I think he lives in like Akron, Ohio or something. I'm not too sure. All I know is he's got like tons of acres and he just rides four-wheelers all day in Ohio on his land, like dirt bikes and four-wheelers. He's a down-to-earth dude. Doesn't live in Ohio. Doesn't live in Hollywood. Chris Hemsworth doesn't live in Hollywood either. And I think that has something to do with why they're somewhat normal. I haven't heard any hot takes from Chris Hemsworth. I haven't seen anybody make videos talking about him saying, yeah, people are trash. Yeah, you don't vote this way, you're a pile of garbage. Haven't seen any hot takes like that from Chris Hemsworth. Seems to just want to live his life and make his movies. And I totally respect that. And maybe that has...
So Chris Hemsworth is a good guy. He's one of the good guy actors. I can quite tell that. But yeah, he's not one of these... He's not one of the weirdos who just bows down to everything. He seems to be one of those guys who lives for himself. And I guess he had the idea. I'm not really sure why. And I can't place exactly why, because we don't know why he lives in Australia and not Hollywood. But it could be because he doesn't want to become part of that Hollywood cult. He wants to work there, get the money, and become a good person. Become a good actor and make the money and work in movies he likes to work in. But one thing he might not want to do is sell his soul to the Hollywood cult. That may be bad for his health. I mean, the Hollywood cult is essentially what kind of it takes place in New York, but the Hollywood cult mentality is essentially why Bret Easton Ellis wrote American Psycho. It's the same sort of phenomenon. Let's see here.
Something to do with the fact that he doesn't live in Hollywood. And going through this article, it came on me that he just seemed like a normal person. So I just want to go through this a little bit, just have a little bit of fun here. So Chris Hemsworth is one of the biggest names in Hollywood right now. And so one might expect that for the good of his career, he would live in the epicenter of the industry in Hollywood. However, the actor says that being in the middle of the entertainment industry is exactly where he doesn't want to be. He'd much rather be able to separate himself from it all, which is why he and his wife live in Australia and not Southern Cali. Chris Hemsworth did live in LA for several years, and it was in that time that he joined the MCU as Thor and became a household name. Once he established himself, however, it seems he wanted to get out. Hemsworth tells GQ that living outside of the hustle and bustle gives him the separation that he needs, and even lets him ignore his job when he really...
Yeah, maybe more actors should do that. Maybe more actors should come out and just, stop living in Hollywood so they can stop going insane. That might be a good thing to do, a more healthy thing to do. I think that's why Chris Hemsworth seems more down to earth. Possibly. Don't forget the themes. Mathemes. I think we will save the Mathemes video for next time. Chef. Maybe for tomorrow. But don't forget Mathemes on there as a custom emoji. Got to have Mathemes. So anyway, let's keep going.
He wants to, according to the actor. You're a little bit too much in the eye of the storm when you're living in Hollywood, living in Australia. It's also easier to detach myself from work, and you get a bit more leeway to let a few emails and phone calls slide on by. So it's funny here. This says to me, okay, he's got his name established. He got out of there, right? But what's the first thing he did? He got the hell out of there. I think you're going to see a lot more people do this. You could just get out of there. And this is good for his brand. It's probably good for his mental health. I feel like he's giving real political answers here because he doesn't want to burn any bridges. Like, I just wanted to get away from the hustle and bustle. Now I want to get away from the weirdos and wackos in Hollywood. And now I don't have to talk to them all the time. I can just not respond and they can't confound me.
See, Hatch 450SX. Thank you much for joining the what I had to call the Lit Legion. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. Welcome. And I have access to some custom emojis and things like that. Also, this community post is for members only already, and they'll show you some new stuff I'm working on with Dr. Alpha, and you'll be able to get new updates and stuff on Dr. Alpha, like secret stuff, behind the scenes stuff on community tab. That's just for members only. You get that stuff too if you want to check it out. But according to YouTube, I'll still need 3 more members. I think I need 3 more members. Let me see here. If I get 3 more members, I can add on another emoji. I believe so. So if I get 3 more members, I can add on another custom emoji for everyone to enjoy. And if you're interested, I might get a new one called. I might get a Nico Speak emoji. I think that's the one. That's the one I'm going to get. That's the one I'm going to get next. The Nico Speak emoji. That'd be perfect. Perfect. Anyways, continue here.
So it's not like living outside of Hollywood has had any detrimental effect on Chris Hemsworth's ability to work. He's actually had plenty of major roles in addition to his regular gig in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and Australia has its own studios. The last Thor movie was filmed there, making the gig easy for Hemsworth. The actor has said he's actually enjoyed living in lockdown because he's been working so hard of late that he hasn't had much time to spend with his family. And if you're going to be stuck at home, I feel like most of us would rather be in Australia than in LA. Yeah, I think a lot of people would rather be in Australia than in LA. I think most of the people in LA would rather be anywhere but LA. You have to literally dodge poop every time you walk somewhere. And what can you, like, unless you're super rich, I don't think you could even get good housing in LA, right? Isn't the cost of living really high there? But you can't blame him for wanting to get out.
Yeah, if I ever heard in LA, housing is ridiculous. The same thing as in New York, housing is absolutely ridiculous. Plus, I don't think he wants to stay in LA anyway. I'm pretty sure that even though he might be wealthy, he might have millions of dollars, taxes are brutal over there in California, as far as I've heard. Absolutely brutal.
I mean, that's the first thing I would want to do if I was an actor. I would want to get out of LA. And, I haven't really seen much from Chris Hemsworth as far as trashing fans, saying nasty things. I really do think that there's something about people that don't live in the middle of it all that are celebrities and people that do, because the people that are really mixed into this stuff, it's always people that are really into the culture and loud. And I just don't get that off of him. Like Ricky Gervais, I don't get that off of him either. And I really think that there's something about living in LA and being in the middle of all of this Hollywood culture. It really is. I do believe what Rose McGowan says here, that it's a cult. It really is. It has to be. Because why else would these people act like this? You see these people in their videos on social media where they're freaking out, going insane, having mental breakdowns and all this stuff. And you don't see that off of people like Chris Hemsworth. What's he doing right now? He says it right there. He's like, I'm okay with being locked down because I'm spending time with my family. I'm just, trying to just unwind and relax in in the outback or wherever he lives. I don't know.
Let's see, Barry Bend, housing is ridiculous in New York City. The New York proper from Harriman upward is more reasonable. Yeah, I've heard about New York City being absolutely ridiculous. Like you need tons and tons of money just to live in a small apartment over there. Like in main New York City. I'm glad it's not all horrible. Some of it is actually reasonable. That's good.
You know, but he seems to be doing just fine. You don't see him posting videos of himself breaking down in rose-petaled bathtubs and crying and begging for attention. You don't see it all.
Yeah, one thing that we really need, one thing we need to thank celebrities for is that during this time of need, they make the sacrifice to appeal to us while streaming from their mansions and their gigantic rose-petal filled bathtubs. Poor celebrities. They do so much for us. Gary Stu, welcome, Gary Stu. Hello, people. Hello, Gary Stu. Welcome.
People like him or Ricky or Dave Chappelle. You see it on people like Madonna. And, you know, what was it? There was an article the other day where Hollywood, like, saying they demand changes and we're never going to go back to normal and all of this stuff. I don't get this off of people like Chris Hemsworth. So, you know, I don't think he's trying to throw shade at anybody here. But what I got off of this was, you know, this is just another person who just wants to be normal and left alone and is not a big crybaby. And maybe that has to do with him not being wrapped up in the cult that is Hollywood. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too deep into it. I don't know. But what are your
It sounds good to me.
This? I'd like to hear what you have to say. Also,
I think the lesson here, chat, is if you ever become a famous movie star, don't live in Hollywood. Just get out where you can. Just go over there to work, and that's it. And just go to the cult area to work, and then come home. I like how Chris Hemsworth doesn't even live outside of Hollywood. He doesn't live in like the state over or something like that. He lives in Australia. So he worked in Hollywood and said, you know, I'm going as far away from Hollywood as I possibly can. I'm going to just go ahead and move to Australia. Not even Europe or something, but he moved to the other side of the planet just to get away from all these people. It's fantastic. I like it. I like that fact. Awesome. Good on you, Chris Hemsworth. Good on you. But we're reaching the 3-hour mark. Go ahead and close down the stream here. I just want to let everyone know that the memberships are open. I believe I have it set at $1.99 per month. You could access to some behind the scenes stuff for Dr. Alpha. You get all these nice little custom emojis that the wonderful Zofrats has made. I like them. I personally like them. I think they've turned out fantastic. And I think I need 3 more members, and I can add in the Nico Speak emoji that I'll have made eventually. 3 more members. According to YouTube, it says that they won't let me to add in a new custom emoji without 3 more members. It says. Okay, so I just want to let everyone know about that. And of course, Dr. Alpha Miracle Child is still available on Indiegogo. And the hardcover edition with the Andrew Huerta cover is still up and going. It's going to be 8.5 by 11. It's going to be a pretty sizable book. It's also going to come with extra author commentary, some behind the scenes thoughts into how these characters were created, how the writing process, because I did use a formula for this to write it. The writing, a little bit on the writing process, all that stuff, all the good stuff you might be interested in if you're interested in the behind the scenes writing process things. Anyway, chat, if you're interested, check it out. See if you find anything interesting. Also, because Dr. Alpha has reached 41,000, this weekend I'm planning on it being Saturday gaming stream, Sunday gaming stream also. So Saturday and Sunday this weekend will be filled with gaming stream stuff. And other than that, that's all I wanted to say today. So, and say for today, we'll go ahead and close out the stream here. Hope everyone had at least a little bit of fun. I know at least 2 people didn't. That's okay. That's okay, chat. I'll close out the stream here. Go back to work on my video. And everyone stay safe. Stay awesome. Stay best, chat. Stay the best, chat. And I will see you all, of course, next time